if you could just let me know where you are joining from, just so that I can get a sense of who we have on and where you all are listening from and viewing from. That is so cool. I see Ashley is here, Emily, Miranda, Taylor, Melissa, Blonde Stuff, Natalie, Sarah. Oh my goodness, so many people already on. So let's see, where are you all in from? So first of all, I just want to make sure, can you all hear me? Let's see. Hello, hi Jennifer. Hey, hi everyone. Okay, awesome. So I think you all can hear me and we are good to go, but let me just know. Okay, so Allison from New York City, Colorado, so cool. H-Town, hey there, Kennedy, how are you? Chicago, LA, Minnesota, hello everyone. San Francisco, Tiffany in Tampa. Awesome. So many people already on. Super excited to see all of you all here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yes, you all can hear me. We got Philadelphia, North Carolina, Utah, KC, New Jersey, San Diego, Texas, awesome, all over the United States. Melissa from Daytona, shout out to all of you all for being here on time, showing up, and obviously putting your dreams and yourself first, because that says a lot, right, about you all as individuals, being able to really just step up and say that this is something that you want to do and making a concerted effort to show up here live and to be with me here today. Now, let me ask, who was here last night? So who was on for the 2 hours and 45 minutes in which we were live? Okay, let's see. Miami, Bowie. I'm in Bowie. San Diego, San Francisco. Awesome. Jacksonville, Washington, D.C., Nebraska. This is absolutely wonderful. This literally, guys, makes my heart so, so happy to know that we are able to connect with so many of you all from all over the United States. This is so, so exciting. Wonderful. Good. So I see a lot of people were on last night. Awesome. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So really quick as we kick things off, because I want to go ahead and get started, even though I had so much fun last night with Vanessa and we were on with you all for about 2 hours and 45 minutes, I don't want to take that much time of your evening up. So I want to try to get to it and get going. But just kind of to kick things off, if you can, please make sure that you all are following us on social media. We obviously are really, really active in IG as well as Facebook. Love it. See, so many people were on last night. This is wonderful. So Instagram and Facebook. So definitely follow us there. And you all are right here in our YouTube channel. So if you can, please, there should be a little button right below this window. If you could go ahead and hit subscribe for our YouTube channel, make sure that you get all of the notifications, because every single week we are posting new videos with new content, new tips, new behind the scenes footage, and really those inside tips that a lot of people just don't know. And we do all of that for just the kindness of our heart for free for you. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be basically your way of telling us thank you and just showing your appreciation for myself and my team. And also for, again, putting yourself forward and forefront in your mind and first, right? Because you will be able to get some notifications every single week on things that will push you further, faster in the audition process. Another thing that I want to remind everyone of is the play of the day. So remember, we are encouraging every single one of you all to please take action immediately. So as soon as, this is over, at the end, we're going to give you kind of homework. And the reason that we do that is because small progress creates huge momentum. So we really want to make sure that you all are taking action on your goals, on your dreams, on your aspirations to become a professional cheerleader. And the best way to do that is just to take small progress, small steps every single day. So it is our goal to make sure that at the end of this 5 days that you all basically have at a minimum taken 5 forward progress steps toward your goal of becoming a professional cheerleader. So within our Prep to Pro Facebook group, we are going to add a post that basically has day 2 play of the day. And we want to make sure that you go ahead and put in all of your homework in that post. Now, for play 1, for day 1, we actually had almost 100 people respond to that. So this is where you can find that post in our Facebook group. So that if you did not put in your homework for day 1, you have the opportunity to still do that. Here's what we're going to do for you all. I had mentioned before that we are going to have prizes, and they are going to be based off of the play of the day. And we are going to award everyone that shows up live to these YouTube live, challenges every single day right here. We're going to award you if you show up live and if you do your homework. Okay. And so you have to post in that post what the homework is, what the play of the day is, but you also have to let us know what your username is for YouTube. So poor Sadie was trying to figure out who showed up live last night and compare that to who turned in their homework for today. And there was just a little bit of a disconnect. I know a lot of you all did respond to her to let her know what your username is, but to make it easier for her going forward for tonight's homework, when you enter that in tomorrow morning, if you could just let her know what your name is here in YouTube so that she can verify that you were here on YouTube live, okay? I also want to make sure that you all know that we are also going to award prizes even if you were not able to show up live. So the bigger prizes are going to be for those that show up live and do their play of the day. But if you do your play of the day, you are still going to be entered in for our prizes, because we understand that not everyone is going to be available at this time frame. There could be people that have to go to work for essential jobs, and we just want to make sure that we don't leave anyone out as far as the awards. So let me talk a little bit about these prizes. So first of all, you all are going to have the opportunity to earn virtual trainings, one-on-one sessions with our coaches, gift cards, and the big prize is $1,000 toward our Approach Your Playbook program. So yes, that is a $1,000 scholarship to participate in our summer Approach Your Playbook program. So we're super excited about selecting a lucky, lovely, or gent to participate in our Approach Your Playbook program. And it's going to be compliments of us, $1,000 scholarship. And the reason we're doing this is because, yes, it's a slight bribe, in all honesty, because we want to make sure, again, that you are making small progress every single day toward your goal of becoming a professional cheerleader. So please, please just make sure that you show up live, you either watch the replay and then do your play of the day, go back into our Prep to Pro Facebook group, and we are good to go there, okay? So I wanna make sure that you all grab your workbook, that you have pen and paper. Again, eliminate distractions because this is your time. This is all for you. So don't allow the outside activity get the best of you. Really show up for yourself. Be engaged, interactive. Let's learn something together. And I want you to take a second and just see your future self. So I literally, if you can, just close your eyes for a second. Stop entering anything in the chat. Take a moment for a second. Just take a deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. And right now, I just want you to imagine yourself in that uniform, holding those palms, either on that field or in the arena. I want you to think about the possibility of you hearing your number called at final auditions and you becoming a new rookie for the team of your dreams. I want you to literally see your future self in that uniform, full hair and makeup, with your dance shoes on, ready to go out of the tunnel for the very, very first time as one of the newest rookies for the team of your dreams. Just let that soak in for a second. And think about why it is that you want that. Why is it that is a goal for you? Why are you here live with me when you could be doing other things right now at your house? But really think about that. Why did you decide to show up for yourself? And just picture that and understand and know that every single step that you take, every single time that you show up live here with us for this challenge, and every single action that you take after this challenge is for your future self. It's for the accomplishment of your dream. It's for the accomplishment of your goals. And what I am so excited about is that I am here and my team is here to help you every single step of the way. And we have an amazing lineup for you all. And I cannot wait to kind of just share all of that with you. So first, let me just introduce myself. And as I'm kind of doing this, if you could, write in the chat, because a lot of you all were here yesterday, write in the chat one thing that you took away from our session last night. So the biggest thing that you took away from our session last night, as I just kind of reintroduce myself, just in case we have any newcomers here tonight. So I am Janine Samuels, I'm CEO and president of Sideline Prep, and I am an 11-year veteran of the pro-cheer world, 8 years for the Washington Redskins and 3 years for the Washington Wizards. When I was on the Redskins, I had the honor of being a co-captain and a captain and being voted for the Pro Bowl to dance in Hawaii. I was on the cover of their calendar not once but twice, and I won many awards while I was on that team. I thought I was done cheerleading. I literally was like, okay, I'm going to hang up my pom-poms now. And that's when I started Sideline Prep and realized that I really wasn't done. I wasn't ready to give it all up. So I ended up auditioning for the Washington Wizard girls and made that team and stayed there for 3 seasons, then retired because they asked me to be the in-game host for the Washington Wizards. So I was the in-game host for the Mystics, the in-game host for the Wizards, went on to be the in-game host for the Baltimore Brigade, all of which was amazing because I could see my lovelies at all of these games living out their dreams, knowing that I helped them accomplish that. And now pretty much I'm focused on Sideline Prep and you all and your goals and your dreams and helping you get to where you want to be. And I am also the in-game host for the Washington Redskins now. So once football is back in full swing, I will be right around the corner at FedEx Field. I'm looking at our lovelies there with the first ladies of football and really just taking it all in, because right now 78% of the ladies on the current Washington Redskins cheerleaders, they are our lovelies. And I know that I had a small piece in them accomplishing that goal and accomplishing that dream. And it just makes me super, super excited and very optimistic about what is also in store for all of you. So let me see what some of the biggest takeaways were. So a dream without a plan is just a wish. Yes, that quote that I could not remember. Rejection is redirection. That's one that I wrote down as well. I absolutely love that. Vanessa said that that's something that her mom always said. Trust your path, including the no's that comes with it. Most definitely. God, my higher power, blessed me with this desire. So yes, the universe, God, whoever it is that you believe in, would not have put the desire in your heart if he did not think that it was possible for you to achieve. And that's something that I live by every single day. Every step, big or small, leads me closer to the best part of me. Yes, yes, yes. The biggest thing I took away was that rejection is redirection. And with that mindset, it will continue to allow you to be positive. Most definitely. So every single no is going to get you closer to your yes. Every single closed door just means that there's another bigger, brighter, better door that's ready to open for you if you just keep moving forward. Absolutely love this. I have to do this for myself. I can do this. Yes. Be resilient. Yes. I took away from last night is being reintroduced to being properly prepared. Yes, that was the whole theme of last night, right? I have slacked off, but I'm definitely getting back on track. That is wonderful. Love to hear that, Denise. Great, great, great. So there's so many more coming in, and I wish that I could, read off all of them. Kendra says the law of attraction is real, and changing your mindset is key. Most definitely love this. And so just remember, like, everything really that you all took away and how you felt yesterday. Let me just ask you something. Last night, I know for me personally, I felt energy. I felt excitement. I just got just how the feed just kind of kept going up, going up, going up. I felt the energy from you all last night. I felt optimism. I felt possibility. I felt that it will happen. Who else felt that way? Who else left last night feeling a sense of just excitement for what's to come, a sense of energy for what is down the road for you, a sense of true optimism of what is possible? Who else kind of felt that way last night, just listening to Vanessa's story, listening to the things that I shared with you all, and just going through the content of how you can properly prepare? Who else felt like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do this? Awesome. Wonderful. Yes. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's what I want to see. I know that I felt it, and I felt it from you all, and that really excited me. So I really want you to now just remember how you felt last night. I want you to remember how you feel right now. I want you to remember the feelings of energy and excitement and positivity and possibility. I want you to remember how this feels, and I literally want you to just breathe and hold on to that, and then release fear, release doubt, release negativity, release I can't, I won't, I'm not good enough. Because here's the deal, guys. When you truly look into and grab onto and pull into the right system, the right framework, the right team, when you have the right support system there for you, anything is possible. My story is possible. Vanessa's story is possible for you, because if it's possible for us, it's possible for you. And I want you to remember how you feel right now, because things are going to get harder. You are going to have ups. You are going to have downs. There are going to be times when you want to give up, but you have to anchor yourself back into these feelings of optimism, assurance, security, confidence, and know that it is possible for you. All you have to do literally is engage in every single session this week, show up, commit within your heart of hearts, and execute with full passion. Release fear, release doubt, release all the negativity, and let go of the past. Let go of the negative comment that a dance teacher said to you. Let go of something negative that someone told you that you were not capable of. That is in the past. It cannot change. You cannot do anything about that. So only look forward, only concentrate on the here and now and how you feel right now and what you are about to create for yourself in the future. Be fully vested 100% in showing up for yourself and your dreams and taking action. To make your dream and that picture that I asked you to kind of just visualize of yourself in your uniform, to make that a reality, to like really just soak that in and know that it is possible. It's not only possible, it is probable. If you put in the work and if you believe in yourself. If you put in the work and you believe in yourself. The way that you make dreams a reality is by having unwavering faith in yourself, taking strategic, focused, and consistent action, following through until completion, and never giving up. That's it, guys. Hey, we can stop the challenge right now. And that's the one thing that I want you to remember day in and day out. And I want you to write this down. And Sadie, if you could type this into the comments for me, that would be absolutely amazing. Please, you guys, take out your pen, take out your pad, and write this down. Type it on your phone, whatever it is. Put it on a sticky, and put it somewhere on your mirror where you can see it every single day. Because this right here, I'm telling you, is going to be a game changer for you all. The way that you make dreams a reality is to have unwavering faith in yourself, take strategic, consistent, and focused action, and follow through until completion, and don't give up. The way you make dreams a reality is to have unwavering faith in yourself, take strategic, consistent, and focused action, follow through until completion, and never give up. So if you're ready to do that, Let me hear it. Give me some thumbs up, give me some likes, put in some emojis in the comments, in the chat. I want to feel that you understand what I am saying. And I want you to hold on to that and hold on to that picture of yourself that you saw with your uniform, with those pom-poms in that tunnel, getting ready to go out for your first performance of your professional career. I want to see it, I want to hear it, and I want to feel it, because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page together today. All right, awesome. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Loving it. Awesome. Yes, yes. And this is like, seriously, I don't mean to oversimplify things, because the putting in the work part, that can get hard, right? That's the hard part. But if you have unwavering faith in yourself that you can do it, then the work is going to be easy, because you're going to know and understand that all that work is worth it. You're going to know that the end game is well worth all of the hard work, determination, sweat, tears, lost pounds, increased confidence. It's worth all of that. It's worth all of that. Okay, awesome. Loving it, loving it, loving it. All right, so what do we have in store for tonight? So I just want to make sure that you all hang on, because we have a special guest. Super excited for this lovely to join us, because she is not only a lovely, but she is a Pro-Cheer Playbook graduate, and she is a mother. And so we're just in for a treat, because she is a woman of all women and of all women. And I just want her to be able to really share her story with you, because I really do think that it is important. So Jayanti is going to be on with us in just a little bit. So make sure that you hold tight for her. I also want to make sure that you know what we have in store the rest of the week as well. I kind of made, we're going to make a post about this, because tonight is Jayanti, okay? And then tomorrow, so let's see, Wednesday is Jeanette. Then we're going to have Jade, who is a current NFL cheerleader, and then Janine on Friday. So it was like J, 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 and then G. So really make sure that you all show up. Tonight, it's all about getting noticed and getting seen. Wednesday, we're really going to talk about nutrition and fitness and making sure that you are able to get that pro-cheer look. On Thursday, we're going to be talking about dance. And then on Friday is about mindset. So super important. Mindset is huge. And I just want to make sure that you all obviously are here for that. So without further delay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So go ahead, make sure that you have your workbook with you. Just as a quick recap for those of you all that maybe were not on, this is basically what we went over last night. I literally shared with you all our step-by-step game plan to go pro. This is the same framework that our Pro-Cheer Playbook lovelies get access to when they join our signature high-level 4-month coaching program. We shared with you all each of the stages of this process and the importance of making sure that you don't just focus on one thing. You really do have to show up as the full package at auditions. You really do have to show up well-rounded and extremely comfortable with who you are as a person, and make sure that you are hitting on all of these items as you are preparing for auditions. So if you were not able to watch last night, we do have the replay in our Prep to Pro groups. You're going to want to make sure that you go ahead and watch the replay of that, so that you get caught up with the 3 stages within our framework. And look, guys, this is the same framework that our Pro-Cheer Playbook lovelies have, that has garnered and resulted in a 74% success rate of them graduating from our program and making a semi-professional or professional team. Yes, 74% of our graduates make a team. Jayanti, who is going to be joining us, she made her NFL team before she even graduated from our program. Okay, so again, this isn't just possible for you all. This is probable, because we are literally giving you all the framework that you need to utilize and use kind of going into this entire process for auditions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with your day 2 information. So this is all about getting noticed. So mistake number 2, I'm wondering if any of you all know what mistake number 2 happens to be. I'm just going to tell y'all. So mistake number 2 is not being the full package. So I just mentioned this, and this is the importance of making sure that when you do show up, that you show up as the full package and that you don't just focus on that one thing. So maybe you're like, oh, well, I'm trying out for a dance team, so I'm gotta, just focus on dance. Well, there are so many other components of the audition process. It's your dance, it's your look, it is your interview skills, it's how you carry yourself, it's how you make eye contact with people, it's your aura, right? It's so many things. It's your nutrition, it's your fitness, it's your complexion, it's how you walk into a room, it's how you exit a room. So you really want to make sure that you are really concentrating on the entire spectrum of what it means to become a professional cheerleader. Okay, so mistake number 2 is not being the full package. And obviously, we, through that framework, give you all of the elements to ensure that you know what areas you need to work on so that you can become the full package. So the next little area here, filling in the blanks, is you want to make sure that you are getting noticed, seen, and remembered by the judges. You need to get noticed, seen, and remembered. Now, listen, I want to remind you that you can get noticed, seen, and remembered for the wrong things. So you could come in late every single practice. You could show up like you literally just walked out of bed and just rolled over and just popped up at a prep class. You could get noticed, remembered, and seen because of an inappropriate dance move that you do, or an inappropriate response to an interview question, or not knowing a response to an interview question. You could get noticed and remembered because you never have on makeup, or your hair is never done, or you're just never looking put together, or maybe you're frazzled every time that you come into the arena, or maybe for virtual auditions, you submit your video on time, but you didn't follow the instructions, you didn't follow the directions, or the background and the scenery was super cluttered, and you're remembered for how junky things were in your home. So you can get noticed, seen, and remembered for the wrong things. And obviously, we're here to help you to say, no, 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 no. Everything that I just said, you want to do the opposite of it, right? So you want to get noticed, seen, and remembered for all the right reasons, for the positive things, for looking your best, feeling your best, presenting your best, showing up as your best from head to toe. Hair, makeup, lashes, tan, fitness, nutrition, all of that is so, so important. Your presentation of how you hold yourself, your shoulders, your core, how you carry yourself, how you speak, your pronunciation of words and sentences, how you carry on a conversation, how personable you are over video or in person, how you dance, how you perform, your showmanship, how you make eye contact with the judge, how you pull them in with your intro speech, how you wow them with something unique and amazing about you through your intro speech. There are just so many ways that you can be noticed, seen, and remembered, and we want to make sure that you're noticed, seen, and remembered for the right things. So obviously the next question is, well, how? Right? How? Well, I pretty much just gave you all the answer, but let's go ahead and break it down a little bit more. So number 1, super important, is your appearance. Okay. I was debating on whether or not to make this number 1, but I decided to go ahead and make this number 1 because it's the truth, guys. The top 2 scoring elements on the judges' score sheet are how you present yourself, which is your appearance, and your showmanship and your dance ability. Those are the top 2 categories. Okay. And so just like with the profession of being a model, just like with the profession of being an actor or an actress, appearance is important. Just like when you go for an interview with any job, how you walk in and how you present yourself and how you are dressed, and if you are groomed or not, and if your hair is done and you look professional, that is important. It is. And there's nothing wrong with saying that in the professional cheer industry. You would not show up to a job interview in corporate America looking like you rolled out of bed, looking like a slob, not having your hair done, not having brushed your teeth, right? So it's okay to admit that your appearance is very important. We are role models. We are ambassadors for the community as professional cheerleaders. And what is Like a role model is someone that cares enough about themselves to fuel their bodies correctly with the right food, the water, someone that works out, someone that is not obese, someone that takes care of themselves. Okay? That's in life, in period, in general. Okay? So your appearance is super important. And I think you all know that. I don't need to explain that to you all, but it's just like any other job interview that you all would go into. It's just that in this situation, your physical fitness is very important. Just like in any other athletic arena, any other sports team. You have to have the stamina, you have to have the endurance, you have to be fueling your body correctly in order to be able to perform and do the things that you need to do and show up the way that you need to show up as your job in that industry, in that sports industry. And it's the exact same thing with your professional cheer industry. Okay. And so I mentioned this yesterday. It's just, it's your hair, it's your makeup, it's your teeth, it's your lashes, it's your fitness, it's being tan, it's being toned, it's your attire, it's how you carry yourself, it's how you stand, it's all of that. Like if you go into an interview and you're like this, and just, or just sitting like this, is that good? No, sit up, right? Be on the edge of your chair. Show them that you're engaged with them. Make eye contact. When you're standing in front of them, stand with your shoulders back, your chest out, and being proud and bold and empowered, right? Show your confidence, because all of that is part of your appearance, okay? All right, up next, number 2, your performance. So obviously I already mentioned this, but yeah, your showmanship, your performance, your danceability, that's important too, right? So you do need to be able to wow them with your showmanship. You need to be able to wow them with who you are as a performer. You're basically auditioning or applying for a job as a dancer, as a performer, as a cheerleader. So you have to work on your craft, and you have to make sure that you feel comfortable with the basic elements that dance team requires, okay? So that's where that research comes into play that I talked about last night, and how important it is to research the team so that you know their expectations and you know what you need to do and what you need to bring as it relates to technical skills, the style of dance, and your overall presence. And then everything else, again, is going to show up when you are on the floor. So remember, your performance is not just about hitting the moves. It's not just about getting the choreography right. It's not just about if you mess up, you're able to recover, right? Your performance is about how you make eye contact with the judges. It's the nuances of how you hold your hands, or how you, move your shoulders, how you engage your core, how you lift your chest, how your chin is lifted, how you wink at the judges, or how you use a hair flip or a hair whip, right? To really captivate and pull the judges into your performance. It's your showmanship. It's your personality. It's who you are as a performer. Right? It's not just about, okay, 1 is here, and then 2, and then, I'm going to go in for my double, and then I'm going to go out and, touch my feet and snake up. Yes, the moves are very important, but it's also about how you show up doing those moves. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 1 is appearance. Number 2, performance. Number 3 is uniqueness. Last night, I talked about how you are the only you in the world. And how amazing that is. God only, or whoever, created just one of you. That's how special you are. That's how special you are. But we lose sight of that. Why do we lose sight of that? Because of this thing that I called compare-itis. Because we are so busy comparing ourselves to the person to the right and to the left and in front of us and behind us. And oh my gosh, that brunette, she looks like me. And oh my gosh, she's my height. And oh my gosh, she has on the same audition outfit. And oh no, her kicks are higher than mine. Or oh no, she can do triples and I can only do doubles. Compare-itis will eat you alive. When that starts to happen to you, remember, there's only one you. There is only one you, and that was by design. That was not a mistake. That was not a mistake. That was by design. There is only one Kennedy. There is only one Manny. There is only one Andrea. Only one Sarah. Only one Leah. Only one Tiffany. Destiny. Sadie. Kia. Asia. Victoria. Taylor. Caitlin. Felicity. Haley. Amber. There's only one of you. Just one of you. And so why would you not show off who you are? Why would you not bring your uniqueness out for everyone to see? So I always, talk about that there's this fine line between, showing up and showing out, right? So you want to make sure that you show up and that you show out, but that you don't stick out in the process, right? So you want to be your unique version of yourself. So you kind of want to fit in with the mold. You want to fit in and you want them to say, oh my gosh, yes, I could totally see her as a Redskins cheerleader. I could totally see her on the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleading team. She fits in. She fits the mold. She looks the part. She dances the part, right? But you also want to bring your uniqueness out. So you want to stand out and you want to show out and show your unique you through your performance, through your application responses, through your intro speech. But you don't want to stick out. Okay, you want to stand out and not stick out. So there is a fine line between standing out and sticking out. Okay, so please just be very mindful of that. And sticking out is normally for the wrong reason. When you stand out and someone says, oh, she really stood out, it's normally for good things. Sticking out is like, I'm not too sure about that one. Okay, so please remember that there is that fine line, but you all need to be so comfortable with yourselves and who you all are as individuals that you are happy to share and show off your uniqueness. So that is number 3, making sure that you are able to get noticed, be seen, and remembered for you, for your uniqueness in you and who you are. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Up next is confidence. Okay. So if you are like literally bringing your A game with appearance, rocking it out and showing out with your performance, differentiating yourself and standing out through your uniqueness, it's going to come out in the form of confidence. You're able to do all of that because you are confident. You are able to do all of that because you have prepared so much up until this point that you know that regardless of what happens, regardless of the outcome, you did the best that you could do. And that shows in everything that you do. I do want to remind you that there is a difference between confidence and being cocky. Okay, so confidence is knowing that you did all that you could do and you prepared. You crossed all T's, you dotted all I's, your knowledge, your skills, your competence increased. And because of that, you're now more confident on the inside because you know that you are ready. Being cocky is, oh yeah, I'm better than her, and her. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make it to the next round. I mean, look at these people, right? So you want to be confident in the sense that you can stand in the second line, right, and learn a routine or perform a routine, but outperform the people in the front of the line. Cocky is forcing your way to the front and being like, look at me, I'm right here, come on. And you can see it all in the person's face. It's an RBF, like normally resting BITCH face, RBF, those are normally the ones we're like, oh yeah, she's pretty cocky. Okay, so you want to show up with confidence, not cockiness. And there is a big, big difference. Okay, all right, up next, number 5, have fun. Guys, have fun. Just the judges, the coaches, the directors, they can tell when you're not having fun. They can tell when you're in your zone and you are having a good time and when you're not. So throughout this entire process, don't allow the stress of the process steal the joy of the process from you. Because if you're not having fun, then why are you doing this? Yes, you might be nervous. You might be a little scared. Yeah, you're going to have butterflies. That's normal for all of us. But once it's game time and it is time to hit the floor and dance, you should be having fun. And so that is number 5. That is what it is so noticeable when someone is enjoying themselves from a judge's standpoint. And trust and believe, I am one that has had the clipboard and I can tell. So just throughout this entire process, even as you're preparing, as you're learning, as you're growing, as you're discovering, have fun throughout the entire process and just understand and know that it's a learning process and you're getting better every single day. Every single day, you are getting closer and closer and closer to those goals and to those dreams. Okay, so now I do have a bonus tip for you, of course. So bonus tip number 5, yay. You have to make sure that you nail your intro speech. Another way to get noticed and be seen is by nailing your intro speech, because a lot of times this is the first round of an audition. This is the first time they see you, the first time they hear you, the first time they're going to notice you and recognize you. And so you want to make sure, again, that you are really wowing them with your intro speech. Okay, so you can likely probably figure out what the next fill in the blank is. One of the most overlooked parts of the audition process is your intro speech, without a doubt. It's one of those things that people are just not prepared for. They don't even realize that it's coming. And then the judges are like, so introduce yourself. And they're like, what? Well, what do you want to know? Like, you all have to be prepared for this part, your intro speech. So, so important. Okay, so really quick, are there any questions before we move on? If you can. Any questions? If you could put those in the chat, because I want to bring on our guest. I'm so excited. Any questions before we move on? And just so you all know, I meant to say this at the beginning. This was something that Sadie reminded me to say, and I forgot. I'm so sorry, Sadie. If you can hold your questions to the end, if you have any questions for Jayanti, then if you could please hold your questions to the end, because it was so hard for me last night to try to scroll up and address questions. So let's see. Any questions about Get Noticed, the content for getting noticed? Oh, great question. How do I get the worksheet? Okay, here you go. Sorry about that. Here is the worksheet. First of all, if you are registered for the challenge, then it would have been sent to you via email. If not, you can go to Google Drive and you can download the workbook. If you are not registered, if you can, please make sure that you do register. That way you'll get all of our notifications going forward. So you'll know who is going to be on with us live. And here is the link to actually join the challenge if you haven't already. Also, remember, please join our Prep to Pro Facebook group, because that's where a lot of the activity is also going to happen for the rest of the week. That's where you put in your play of the day to get credit for your homework, so that you can obviously win some cool prizes. So please just make sure that you also do that, which would be super, super helpful. Join us in our Prep to Pro Facebook group. Let me see if I have the link for that one. Sadie, if you could put the link for that, that would be great. Sorry if this is a silly question, but can you explain our intro speech? Are you referring to our virtual auditions? Haha, Caitlin, you're going to have to wait until the end. So, spoiler alert. The play of the day is all around your intro speech. So we are going to go into very great detail about your intro speech. But yes, your intro speech is basically your introduction, and it's how you introduce yourself to the judges. And for almost every single virtual audition that I know of, this was round one, having to introduce yourself to the judges and then either do a freestyle or a dance. So we're going to go into detail and give you all a template on how to do your intro speech and everything. So that is definitely coming up. And we're going to talk about the length of it and all that good type of stuff. So if you all could save those questions, and I'm sorry, so save those questions until the end, because we are going to discuss the play of the day. But I want to bring Jayanti on so that she can kind of also talk a little bit about her intro speech and give you some tips around that. So without further delay, let me get rid of this. Here we go. So excited. Hi. How are you? Let me make sure everything, the volume is up. How are you doing?
I'm good. Not doing too much, but I'm good nevertheless. Everything's been pretty great.
Yeah, awesome. So as you kind of, I think what I want to do, if you don't mind, is just kind of send it over to you so that you can introduce yourself to our community. Just give them a little bit of background on who you are. And then as you're doing that, I might put up a couple of pictures that I have, just, as you're kind of, no, this is all good. Nothing embarrassing, I promise. But I would love for you to just kind of share your journey for Pro-Cheer, just so people can get to know who you are. And then obviously everyone, we are definitely going to make sure that we open it up for Q&A at the end after we go over the play of the day so that you can ask her any question that you have. So I'm going to just turn it on over to you.
Yep. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jayanti. I just completed my rookie season with Baltimore. My mic still muted?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. It was like telling me. I apologize. Sorry, guys. I just completed my rookie season with the Baltimore Ravens. It was the craziest season of my life. But a little bit of backstory before I get into that. I danced my entire life from the age of 2. Actually, my mom put me in classical training up until graduation. After graduation, I actually didn't even go collegiate. I was in Buffalo, and for some reason, that was like the year that I started really getting into NFL football. And I just decided, you know what? I thought I had everything going for myself. And I actually auditioned for the Ravens randomly. I'm not sure why. In hindsight, I cannot remember why. But I was that girl who thought, you know what, I was one of the best ones in my dance class at the time. I can, go and just do this NFL thing or whatever. And I was told that I was wrong. In the first round, I got cut immediately. I honestly did not take it as hard as I would have had I prepared for it. But easily, once I got there, I was kind of overwhelmed. I very quickly realized that I was in over my head. I didn't know anything. I felt like a fish out of water. Like it was just a completely different type of experience that I, like I said, did no preparation for. But it definitely did pique my interest. I was in school in Buffalo at the time, so I wouldn't have even had a plan to move to Baltimore had I made the team. So it just wasn't meant to be at the time. But that very same season, Ravens always does their auditions like the first week of March. They're always one of the first teams, if not the first team, to initiate their audition process. So that later on that season, I was able to kind of do a little bit more research. I actually went to the Buffalo Bills prep classes that they were having, and I was able to enter their audition process a little bit more prepared. And I actually made that team on my first try. So I was a freshman, second semester freshman, starting my first season as an NFL cheerleader. I was able to do Buffalo Bills for 2 good years. It was an awesome experience. I can't express my passion for NFL cheerleading. It's just an experience like no other. It's definitely my niche personally. Just the level of enthusiasm that's in the stadium along with the game. I'm obsessed with football. My teammates always like make fun of me almost because of how much I criticize the game, like during the game and so on. Needless to say, life happens. So I did 2 years with Buffalo, ended up stopping after my second season. The Bills no longer have cheerleaders, so it wasn't even like a thought to be able to go back there. Then life happened. I had Malachi when I was 22. And yeah, I kind of, paused my life. It kind of takes over your life, needless to say. I wasn't really thinking about, my dance career or anything when I was with him or when I first had him. And then a couple years ago, I started feeling like I've trained my entire life in dance. I did not train, do all of this to have my experience so far be it for me. And that's when I decided that I really wanted to try to get back to where I was. So I started looking into different teams and started trying to figure out which team I'd like to be on. I actually went to randomly, just spur of the moment kind of decision. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to cheer for the Miami Dolphins. Why don't I try to audition for them? And I kind of got in my head in that audition process. I actually made it through. They do several cuts of auditions on both, on just one, just because at the end of the day, you already know who's going into training camp that next week. So they start at prelims, and then by like 5, 6 o'clock that night, they have their boot camp team. I got in my head in that audition process. I didn't even let them cut me. I just started to lose confidence throughout the process. And they told us to go get water while they were teaching us choreography. And I ended up just walking out of the room. I grabbed my bags and I just left. And I realized that obviously, one, from both my first Ravens audition and my audition, I wasn't the best, planner for auditions. And two, I realized that seeing that I had some time off, knowing that I wanted to get back into such a high caliber, I knew that I needed help. And I actually just kind of stumbled across an advertisement for Janine's Pro-Cheer playbook, or not the playbook program, but actually the workshop, which sparked my interest in the program itself. And I had a conversation with Janine, and I kind of told her, like, hey, I am kind of struggling with confidence, just because one thing I will touch on, any moms in the group could probably co-sign on this. Being a mom, you kind of lose yourself a little bit. I don't feel like it's talked about enough. And part of my journey was finding myself again. And finding myself and then becoming confident in who I was and not feeling like I lost it and that I was expired, and just learning that I can, do this. And we had a conversation, and I immediately knew that I wanted to do the program. I was able to join the play program. Such an awesome community of girls. It's awesome to have, a community of women that are geared towards the same thing as you, while we're all, fighting for the same things. It's just nice to have people that truly understand you, because people in the outside world, yes, they understand you, but nobody's going to really understand that experience unless they're going through it, themselves. So needless to say, after doing the program, I was able to make the Ravens on my first try, technically back in the process. Their auditions were last March of 2018. And every part of the Playbook program helped me, just because, like I said, I really struggled more than I think I even account for myself with confidence. And there was just so many different pieces that lined up for me throughout the process that if it didn't line up that way, I probably would have second guessed myself again. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. We're currently in our audition process for the next season. I'm hoping to make it back for a second year, but it's never, nothing's official until they announce the team. And given coronavirus, that's delayed everything for all of us. So I had an amazing season last year. The Ravens had an amazing season last year that was just cut a little bit too short, but there was just a point last season, I think I texted Janine or emailed her, after I think it was my second preseason game. Just during the game, I had just this whole feeling of centering, like I am supposed to be here right now. And there is nothing more reassuring than being able to feel that in the moment while you're experiencing it. I think between my first season and Ravens, I was able to appreciate some of my experiences a little bit more, just because you miss it when it's gone. But yeah, I honestly wouldn't change anything about how things have played out for me.
Yeah, and I remember receiving that. I think you did text me, and you just that. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right, for it to sink in, to say, "Whoa, this is my life, and this is this was meant to be. And all of the hard work has paid off. And now I can really just settle into it and truly enjoy it. And you sent a video of your son running over to you when you were in uniform. And I was like, oh my God, I think I want to start crying. I remember talking to you and you just saying how important it was for you to do this and move forward with this for him. Because like you said, just losing who you are as a mom. And I know that we have a lot of moms that are here. There are a lot of moms in our Prep to Pro group. And I, actually sent a message to them to make sure that they were on, because this right here, this picture is, and hopefully you all can see, but this is you with your son in your lap during one of our Zoom calls, right? And I wish I could totally, let me see if there's a way for me to, okay, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. You all see, this is the type of dedication that she had during the program, literally. And it was so much fun because your son would just hop on and he would hi, and talk to us. It was wonderful. So I think having sort of known him through our Zoom calls and then seeing that video of him running to you and you were in uniform at the stadium, how does that make you feel? What did that mean to you to have that moment with him?
Everything, literally everything. I will say one of my actually accountability partners that I got paired up with, Casey, we had a very long discussion at the beginning of the program. She's a mom too, about, how she was on a semi-pro team at the time. And I was asking her, just because I hadn't experienced trying to juggle my life. And I was just asking her, how do you do it? How does it work out? Is it worth it? Just because I'm nervous, I don't want to be away from my son for that. Up until that point, I had been literally work and mom, and that was it. Trying to figure out how I was going to add something else into that equation was just crazy to me. And she said, Jayanti, just picture yourself she literally said this to me. She was like, just picture yourself in your uniform at the stadium with your son. Picture that moment. Try to visualize what that would feel like to you. I'm getting goosebumps, honestly. Try to visualize that, and then imagine how good that feels once you do make that happen. And honestly, I was literally sold, just because I think she was that phone call was Lord, she was amazing on that phone call. And that was all that drove me through the rest of the playbook program, through the audition process, and even parts of the season, because honestly, the work isn't in auditions. Auditions gets you ready for the work that's in the season. And just throughout the season, I kept thinking about that, just because you don't actually get that gratifying experience of him seeing you on the field with football players, and there's a million people in the stands and all of that. And honestly, the first time that he's actually was able to come to 2 games. He was able to come to the home opener and then Patriots game, which is probably one of the craziest games of the season. And the first time that he saw me, my parents brought him down to the bar so that I could wave to him, and he was literally just starstruck. And I also put this in our little PCP group, that for all the moms that are in the group, I know there are some inhibitions to trying to embark on this endeavor with a kid. Everybody says kind of, you're not supposed to, well, not that you're not supposed to do certain things as a kid, but your kids are your priority, which they are and they will always be. However, it's important to be happy too. And also, nobody ever tells you how amazing it is to have your kids with you during this process. Everybody talks about, oh, when I get older, I can't wait to show my kids pictures. But having Malachi with me, and he's at an age where he's fully cognizant of everything that's going on. He watches, like, if he sees like football on TV, he's like, oh, that's mommy's work. And then he sees ravens and he literally is like, oh, look, that's a raven, like mommy's job. And then like sometimes I'll watch shows like DCC Making the Team. He's like, mommy, where are you? I don't see you. And he just thinks it's just like the coolest thing ever. And like I'm just so excited to continue this journey with him. Like I said, I wouldn't change anything just because having him with me has been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and just hearing you kind of talk about that just made me so emotional because, you know, just like the exercise that she had you do with just like, you know, closing your eyes and visualizing yourself in your uniform, you know, with your son. I mean, that's what we did at the start of this. Like, I had no idea you were going to share that. And so like for everyone to just like soak that in and think about that, you know what I mean? Just as she did that then, look at her now. Just as I had you do that today, think about where you're going to be in the future. And I was like literally getting chills because I love what I do, but like knowing that I was able to help you do that, it's amazing, you know, because it's not just impacting you as a woman, but it's going to forever impact him as a young man. And, you know, I just want all moms to remember that you can't, and all females to remember that, you know, when you go on an airplane, they always say to take the safety mask and put it on yourself first, and then to assist people that are with you, the child or the human adult that acts like a child, right? But you have to take care of yourself first. And sometimes as women, and especially as moms, we truly lose sight of who we are. Just like you said, you lost sight for a little while of who you are or who you were. So it's just really important that we remember that we have to put ourselves first. When we take care of our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, when we're living in our full purpose, living every single day in our full potential, then we're able to show up better for other people. We're able to be happier. You're able to be a better mom to your son because you yourself are happier. And so it's just like so many different emotions that can go through you when you really think about the fact that it's possible, right? And that not only does it impact you, but it impacts other humans, other little humans, and just, you know, fans that you come into contact with and everything else. So like I know this was something that I kind of wanted to wait almost until the end of the interview, but since we're already talking about it, like what advice would you give to moms that are thinking about auditioning and just feeling as though it's just too much for them right now?
I would say, one, do it. I mean, it's not worth the risk of a what if that makes sense. It's not worth, you know, just feeling like you're selling yourself short. I would say it's not all going to be daisies and roses. And that's not for anybody. Everybody goes through their own struggles. So I'm not even going to try to individualize moms, but as long as you have a game plan, and know what you're going to do before, you know, cross that bridge before you get there. Kind of plan out for everything, just because I remember it during playbook program is when I was kind of thinking about, even if I don't know if I'm going to make this team, what am I going to do if I make this team? Just because depending on the team that you make, sometimes auditions are practices are almost immediate. So you're going to need to know where your kid is going to be while you're at practice. And sometimes it gets overwhelming, but that preparation will help you in the long run, just because once that bridge does come, you're going to know how to handle it, basically.
Yeah, no, perfect advice. I mean, and that's one thing that we always kind of make you all think about is like have your plan A, B, and your like, and really think about all of that. Someone mentioned in the comments, I'm hoping to experience this feeling in the pro cheer world. So you just have to say, I will experience this feeling in the pro cheer world, right? So it really is about what you say to yourself and how you show up, and the action that you put behind what you say that's really going to make the difference. So I was going to I had mentioned putting up pictures, but then I didn't want to throw you off as I was putting them up. So I decided to wait. So I'm just going to show a couple. This one in particular is Katie, who is also a graduate of the Pro-Cheer Playbook program. And I just loved when this picture came out because you're right behind her and both of you all are graduates of the program. This is some of your teammates, all of which are Pro-Cheer, all of which are lovelies. Cody is a Pro-Cheer Playbook graduate as well. So what does it mean to you just around, like, we have our Prep to Pro Facebook group, and I really do feel as though it's a community, it's a sisterhood. We're in it together. We're in there empowering and supporting one another. But that's what you also get once you make a team. So can you just talk a little bit about the relationships and what that means to you, not just within the team, but then also the relationships that you built within the community, the sideline prep community that really helped push you forward as well?
Yeah, kind of like tying back what I was kind of talking about before. It's definitely, like I said, your whole community, your family, everybody is important, but it's important to have people that have the same vision of you, the people that understand your vision, just because when things get hard, you're going to need that kind of reassurance to keep you going. And there's nobody that can keep you going like the girls in the Playbook program who know what you're going through. And even after auditions, there were several girls in my class that made NFL teams. We had Della go to the Seahawks, Bethany and Julia, who went to Redskins, and we all kept in touch during the season. I've actually kept great touch with Bethany and Julia. We touched base several times throughout the season, just because, like I said, the struggle isn't just the audition process, and being able to go through all the trials and tribulations of rookie season with my friends who they're in the same boat as me, basically. I can't emphasize that enough. It's just having people who understand you, who you can relate to, like, hey, all of this material is like making me insane. Yeah, girl, I totally get it. We're going through it. We have 3 sidelines or 3 third quarter routines that we just learned. Just as simple as that. And just also, I like, you're as good as the company you keep, basically. And you're going to need people to motivate you, people who are have the same type of motivation, because sometimes if you have somebody who's not on the same track as you, doesn't understand your passion, might think that your dreams are too big, then that's going to reflect on how they give guidance to you, per se. And like I said, I wouldn't trade the girls that I've connected with. I think I've commented a couple times in even the Prep to Pro cheer community as well. It's just amazing to have that resource, just with people who have been through the process. You never know. Some girls have been through audition processes. They know what to expect. I was actually connected to Cody by Janine prior to the audition process even started, and she became a resource for me just because I'm not from Maryland. I kind of missed that in my introduction. I'm from upstate New York. I'm actually here with my parents now, quarantining. But yeah, I didn't know anybody. So being able to have somebody to connect to, somebody to talk to while we were at prep class, while we were going through auditions, was just amazing. If I had any questions about what to expect at finals and things of that nature, it was just awesome to have that resource to reach out to as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like that is huge, because I want you all to really just like soak this all in, right? Like, so soak this all in. She was living in New York during the program, okay, a mother, a full-time job, and going through the audition process. And so you all know it takes a lot. You all saw the framework. You saw everything that we take everyone through. So crossing all T's, dotting all I's, you know, trying to work on her dance craft, like all of this, and has a son. So I'm going to keep repeating that, has a son, makes the team, and then is like, oh, well, I guess that means I'm moving now. So then she had to move.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like sometimes whenever things get a little tough or a little hard, or there are roadblocks, or it's just something that's going to take us a little bit out of our comfort zone, we allow our excuses to be larger than our why. We allow our excuses to be larger than our dreams and our goals and our aspirations. And the thing that we said we wanted, now because it's getting a little bit challenging, we decide that it's too hard, and then we stop and we give up. So how are you able to really push through that to make sure that you didn't allow that to happen? Because I know that it was a valley, it was up, it was hills and mountains and everything else. So how are you able to just keep pushing through, even, with the fact that you heard no a couple of times before you got into our program, to still decide that you wanted to push through, being that you were living out of state, you had a son, full-time job, and a whole lot of other stuff going on personally?
Yeah, I think throughout the process of the playbook program, it stopped being an option, I guess. Like, I knew that this is what I want to do. Like, it's time. You say it all the time, this is my time, this is my year. I'm making this team and nobody can stop me. And that kind of kept me going even after the season, just because, or not after the season, but after tryouts, just because I wasn't able to immediately relocate to Maryland. So I was like commuting for like a month and a half, 5 hours, like just to make my, 1 to 2 hour appearances and practices and things of that nature. But I kept telling myself, my mantra was, I didn't come this far to fail. And I started that one during auditions. Every time I made it through a round, like, all of this didn't happen for no reason. Like, I didn't even really let the possibility of me not making the team get into my head. I think last year I was like the most composed I've ever been in an audition process. All of the trainings from the program were like my podcasts on my drives to and fro. But I just remember just not being in my head at all, which is like crazy if you've ever been in any type of audition process, to be as outside of myself as I was throughout both prelims and semis was just awesome. But yeah, this was just something that was a long time coming for me. And as the gear started to turn, I was building, inertia. Like, I'm not going to let anything stop me at this point.
Yeah, well, and one thing too is I wasn't going to let you.
Yeah,
one thing about our community is like, we're like, if someone posts something like, oh, I'm like, yeah, no. No. Nope, you're not turning around. You're going forward. You need to show up. And then, where we can, or where I can, like, I'd already contacted and been in touch with one of the coaches for the Ravens, and showed her your picture, and and I was like, well, you know what, if it doesn't work out for them, then hello. That's someone for you. So yeah, I think it is like this community where, and I'm feeling it in the Prep to Pro group some as well, is that we're all in this together. And I think that that's what excites me the most about kind of what Sideline Prep is doing, and who we're able to invite into this community, is that we really are able to come together as sisters. And we have gents, like there was a gentleman on last night on the live, and we are here to support one another and help each other grow. And I think that that's really important, because that's the type of love and support that hopefully you'll find on a team as well. So I just kind of want to underscore again that like I said before, like, if I can do it, if Vanessa can do it, if Jayanti can do it, then everyone here listening, you all can do it as well. And I just want you all to remember that. Like, if you take nothing else from the Pro Cheer Challenge, is that, if it's in your heart, if it's something that you want to do, then it is possible for you. You just got to put forth the energy and make it happen. So kind of just wrapping up our discussion, because I do want to open it up to Q&A, and we're going to definitely go into, the intro speech and talk about all of that and discuss the play of the day. But the topic that I kind of discussed about before I brought you on was just getting noticed, seen and remembered at auditions. So what types of tips would you kind of advise or share with everyone? Just, kind of the things that you thought about. And I do want to show this because this picture was on social media, and we helped you craft this color. Just red just showed up so beautifully on your skin. And look at her turn. Look at, they captured the most beautiful picture. You in a nice high releve. Your passe is amazing. This is how you capture someone's attention. She was on their social media page. So what were kind of some of your tips or secrets to really help you wow the judges?
I would say, well, just knowing your audience and what they're looking for. I think you said it in your rundown before, is just knowing that what they're looking for and doing your best to embody that while also being yourself. Just because with auditions, those type of introductions are unspoken and happen sometimes as soon as you walk in the door. If you walk in the door and you're an unfamiliar face, but you look like you're looking the part, you've already grabbed somebody's attention. And it all starts with just knowledge of, like I said, who you're auditioning for, what the girls on that team look like, how their style is, and kind of curating yourself to fit that. But when I say curating yourself, I would say that very lightly, just because it is important to maintain your own identity as well. Just because they're not looking for a cookie cutter girl that can fit in the team. Even the team itself isn't a bunch of girls that are the same. They're a bunch of individual girls that make up a greater, bigger picture, if that makes sense. So yeah, just have fun throughout the process. Do your best to put yourself on a platform. I was watching a little bit of Vanessa's interview from yesterday, and she said for her Celtics audition, or prior to her Celtics audition, she was already taking classes with the Celtics coach. So it starts with just little interactions like that. Janine was able to kind of plug me in with Leslie prior to the audition process. So just making yourself stand out just because, or in any way that you can, just to set yourself apart. But even if you're not privy to those types of situations, just walking in the door confident, your confidence will exude through your dancing, through just your overall poise, throughout all of your interactions, and just being aware of who you are will keep you grounded throughout prep classes, auditions, all of that.
That was perfect. Wonderful. That was perfect. And so one thing that I, and I'm going to give you a heads up on this so I don't put you on the spot later, but we're going to really quick go over the play of the day, and it's around the intro speech. And you mentioned like sometimes like that happens like literally as soon as you walk in the door. And the thing to kind of remember just for everyone on here, you're on at all times, right? Like judges, you don't know who anyone is when you go into an audition. You will know possibly the head coaches and the important people, but the person that is at the registration table could be someone in upper management, and you don't even realize that. And so your interview process or your intro speech could literally start right then and right there as you are registering for your audition. So really making sure that you can, be quick on your toes, introduce yourself, and really show them who you are just from, like a 15 to 30 second introduction is very, very important. So what I'm going to do really quick, I'm going to bring you back on in just a second, but I'm going to throw up the, let me see if can you all read that okay if the three of us stay on? Let me know. If not, then I know that if I remove my face, then I literally cannot be heard. So here is the play of the day, guys. This is one of the things that I get most excited about because I get to learn so much about you all in this community just from your intro speeches. Because this, again, is so important to make sure that you all nail this. For your virtual audition, for the tape that you have to submit, and or if it is obviously in person. And so before we kind of dig into this, talk a little bit about, if you could, if you could do Ravens and kind of explain where this shows up, and then I'll just compare it to Redskins so that we can kind of just show the differences here.
Yeah, so Ravens, this is actually the first time that you are setting yourself apart, just because you do have kind of prep class where it's kind of ambiguous. And the first part of auditions, when you're learning choreography, you're kind of being judged already, but like you don't actually get to say who you are until you walk in the room on the first day of auditions, prelims. That's the first thing that you do. As soon as you walk in the room, they'll ask you to introduce yourselves one at a time, and then the rest of the audition pieces come into play. Actually, just as a curveball this year, they initially said that they didn't want intros, and then, or the way that they didn't say that they didn't want introduction. The way that they structured it, they said that you're gonna walk in and then do the dance. So a lot of the first like couple of groups of girls just did the dance, and then they're like, you know what, no, we need to hear introductions. So a lot of the girls were hit with a curveball just because they were literally like, for some girls were on their way into the room and they're like, we need you to do introductions. Fortunately, that wasn't my year. I actually was kind of prepared because we have to make we don't have to, all of the work is what you put into it, but we did make a introduction that like on our own end with the playbook program. So I was prepared for that. But yeah, that's definitely where it comes into play. And that's more so on the rookie end. Day 2, they don't do that. Oh no, yes they do. I'm sorry. I'm like so far removed. That was in March. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to remember. But yeah, both days, as soon as you walk into the audition room, that was the first course of action.
All right, and then so it's so funny. So for you all that are wondering, no, this sheet is not in your packet. What we will do is make sure that we include it. Maybe we'll add this as a page. This was something that we decided to add in, and I didn't get a chance to add it to the original workbook. So we'll allow you all to screenshot it, and it's also going to be in the play of the day post. This exact template here. What I'll do is I'll maybe remove both of us for a second so you all can screenshot it really quick as we discuss it. So no, this is not in your actual workbook, but we'll make sure that you screenshot it, and it will be in the play of the day post, just so you know. So really quick, it's so funny how you were like, so yeah, we had to do the intro speech. So she was trying to make me not sound like what is it, a slave driver, but yes, like they had to do it. It is a requirement. Okay, really quick, I am going to remove our faces so that you all can take a really quick screenshot of this as I go through it. And let's see, once I move, it's going to be quiet for a second. So if you all could just go ahead and screenshot it super fast. Okay, so one thing that we, for the Redskins, for example, it's pretty much the exact same way. So round 1, you have to do your intro speech, and then they play music for the freestyle. And so one thing, like Ravens is normally pretty short, succinct. It's like 2 to 3 sentences. With Redskins, you are allowed to add a little bit more and, you know, tell a little bit more. They don't necessarily give you a time limit on when or how much or how long or whatever, but you obviously don't want to talk forever. So this is just kind of like a template that you all can use as a starting point. And we have an entire training on this. That's how important this is. But we're just going to give you kind of like the Reader's Digest version of how to get this right. And we want you to actually craft your own intro speech and put that in the Facebook group. Okay. So example number 1 is, hello, I'm such and such, born and raised in wherever. When I'm not blanking, you can find me blanking. One fun fact about me is blank. Okay. So if I were to do this, for example, hello, my name is Janine Samuels, born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. When I am not helping other lovelies go pro for the NFL or the NBA through Sideline Prep, you can find me at FedEx Field on game day as the Washington Redskins in-game host. Now, one fun fact about me is that I have 3 nieces, 2 nephews, and 7 godchildren. Okay? Super, super simple, right? It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be, super, long and laborious. It just needs to be interesting, and you need to present it really well, right? So who can really say that they have, I don't have any children of my own, but I have 7 godchildren, right? So literally that says a lot about me as a person, because these parents entrusted their children to me if for some reason they weren't able to take care of their own children. So that's like a blessing, or it could be a curse depending on the way that you look at it. But for me, it's a blessing. It's an honor to be a godparent to 7 children, right? And so that's something very unique that I'm pretty sure no one else that I'm auditioning with is going to be able to say. So you really want to think about, what is it that will help you stand apart from everybody else? What is it that you can say that no one else can say? And I'm going to tell you right now that it is not that you love the Washington Redskins, or you are such a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, or oh, you have been a diehard fan of the Seattle Seahawks since you were 5 years old. Don't say it, okay? Another thing that it's not. I have been dancing since I was 4 years old. My passion is to dance. I just love to perform in front of audiences. Duh, you're applying for a job as a dancer. It's pretty much understood that you love to dance and that you love to perform and you enjoy being in that environment, or else you would not be auditioning. But if you have something unique about the fact that you've been dancing for so long, so maybe you've danced on cruise ships, or maybe you were a backup dancer for Beyonce, or maybe you performed in the Nutcracker, or you were, anything that makes you different than just the typical thing that most people will say is what you want to include. Example number 2 here. Hello there. My name is such and such from wherever. I'm a proud graduate of whatever university of college with a degree in whatever degree you got, whatever minor you got. Currently, I work as a whatever, enabling me to blank. One thing most people don't know about me is blank. Okay, so hello there. My name is Janine Samuels from Richmond, Virginia. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Richmond, the only spiders in the nation. I graduated with a degree in, business administration, a concentration in marketing, and a minor in women's studies. By the way, I graduated top in my class and attended the University of Richmond on an academic scholarship. Currently, I work as a software engineer at Verizon, enabling customers around the United States to hear each other clearly on their Verizon wireless cell phones. One thing most people don't know about me is whatever. Okay, so this one I added in just in case there's anyone out there that has a really strong academic background or does something really cool within their profession. Lawyer, doctor, we have it all. And so you really want to make sure that you don't shortchange who you are as a person and your accomplishments and what you do for a living. Don't shortchange that. Don't think that, oh, I'm not unique. There's nothing, interesting about me. Literally, if I get on the phone with you for 10 minutes, we can craft the most amazing intro speech, like hands down, because there is something absolutely amazing about you. And I know that with 110% certainty. Remember, there is only one you. So that says that in and of itself makes you unique. So then you just have to dig down inside and really try to uncover what that is. A lot of times, because we live with ourselves day in and day out, we forget how amazing and wonderful we are. Okay. So I'm here to remind you that you're amazing and that you're wonderful. And so we really want to make sure that you utilize these templates to craft your own intro speech. So I'm kind of curious because I did see a couple of people write, oh, sheesh, oh no, they may have already messed up. So let me know if any of this kind of rings a bell, or if it makes sense to you all, or if you think, that this is something that you can actually craft, and if maybe it seems a little easier for you now. And then you obviously have to practice it. So, right, I just did that off the top of my head, so I messed up a little bit. You don't want to do that. You don't want to mess up on your intro speech. You should know yourself better than anybody else. So this is something that you want to craft and practice. But you also don't want it to sound rehearsed. So you want to come off very natural. You want to use your hands when you talk and all of that good stuff. So would you mind sharing yours with us?
Sure. I'll actually do my one from rookie season, just because that was kind of my, like I said, the lack of familiarity was there. And definitely it was kind of a jokester, just being who I was myself. My introduction started, hello, my name is Jayanti Mitchell. I'm actually from upstate New York, Syracuse to be exact, where it's cold, snowy, and nothing much else to report. I currently work full-time, Janine, I currently work full-time as a human resources representative at Textron Systems. And a fun fact about me is I'm actually a mom to a 4-year-old future draft pick. And D1 or D try. I actually said D1 or die trying under my breath. And then I said, and I'm here pursuing my dreams just so that he can know that anything is tangible. And that was my speech. It actually was like a huge hit on the judges table. Will, one of our coaches, actually remembered that I said that at my interview. Almost, I want to say like 4 or 5 days later, he brought it up. And I was just like, I'm naturally am inclined to go to like either sarcasm or funny. And I thought that was a piece of myself that I could add, just because you do want to stand out in that room full of, hundreds of girls at the time. So just very simple and sweet. Like Jane said, they do ask that we keep it pretty concise. So example one for would be more like what we would do for Ravens. But yeah, just speaking with confidence and knowing what you're going to say before you say it is important.
Yeah, I mean, and that was wonderful, just because I had forgotten what you did, and I didn't mean to throw you off, but it was wonderful. And so, but that's the type of reaction that you want from the judges. You want the judges to listen to you and react in a positive way, right? So we were talking about earlier how you can get remembered and seen and all of that stuff noticed for negative things. But this is something that you really want to make sure that you are remembered for in a positive light. And there were just so many cute little quirky things that you mentioned about upstate New York, and like there being nothing else to report on there. And your son, showing that you're a mom and you're there and you look absolutely stunning and amazing, and how he's going to, one day be a draft pick. Like there's just so much in there. It was short and concise. And if you all kind of noticed, she pretty much did a combo of both of them, right? So really like make this your own and really just take from it what feels best for you. But this is the time, just like she said, to show who you are, right, as a person, and not there's only a couple of opportunities, and I think I mentioned this last night, that you really get to do something different than everyone else is doing, right? So choreography, you have to do it the same. You have to hit the moves the right way. Everyone has to be in line, and we have to all do it the right way. But with your freestyle and your intro speech, and that interview process, those are your opportunities to differentiate yourself from everybody else. And especially this intro speech, because normally it's the first impression for all the judges. Your application and your photo. So for example, this gorgeous photo that we have here, she took the extra time to come to the photo shoot and take that picture. Someone from the Ravens organization saw this picture on Instagram from our photo shoot and contacted me and asked me who she was before auditions even happened. That is noticed by the judges, by the coaches and the directors, because they get the application, they get the picture, okay? So that's one example. And I think that I showed you all her headshot. Again, absolutely gorgeous. These are the things that get you noticed by coaches and the directors before auditions start. But then on audition day, it's your intro speech, in which is your first impression for the panel of judges. And that is so, so, so important that you really make sure that you nail your intro speech. So is there anything else, any other tips that you would give everyone on the intro speech that maybe I've left out, or just that you want to underscore?
I think that was pretty much it. Like I said, just being confident. Don't even worry too much about all of the minor details of it, just because if you're thinking about all of these things, when you go to actually say it, you're going to get in your head and it's not going to deliver the way that you want to. So just with any other part of the audition process, just being confident in who you are and knowing who you are. When you go to speak, when you go to dance, that's all going to show and speak for itself, essentially. So I would say that's the most important part, period.
Yeah, no, and I feel like it's one of the most overlooked parts that, you know, and I think that was one of the fill in the blanks earlier, but it really is like, you really have to be mindful of those small opportunities to wow the judges. And there's so many different ways to do it, but your intro speech literally is that first impression. Like you want to start off on the right foot, and you want to start up, you know, high on that score sheet from round one, because I don't know if you all kind of like think about school, but it takes a lot. Like you could be up high and it takes just one like bad grade to drop you down low, right? But if you start down low, it's even harder to like work your way back up. So you don't want to start down low because it's so much harder to climb your way back up to the top. So just please, you know, remember that it's so, so important. I don't mean to be a broken record, so I'm going to stop saying it, but really just make sure that you take your time and practice this intro speech. So what I would love to do now is just open it up for Q&A, and it doesn't have to be about the intro speech. That's going to be what the play of the day is about. You all putting you know, your responses in about that. Anyone that is watching the replay, we still want to see your intro speeches for that. I think what we're going to do, because I want to make sure that I give as many of you all feedback on your intro speeches, is we may end up having just a bonus session either Monday or Tuesday, just so that I can give you all feedback. Anyone that left or, you know, filled in their information for their intro speech, I will give you all feedback on your intro speeches. So we'll try to add that in. No promises, but that is something that I will do. But hopefully that will help to kind of bribe you to really do this homework. Think about how amazing you are and then type it up and put it in, you know, the post in the Prep to Pro group, so that you can, again, take that small action towards, you know, your future goals and your future dreams. Every small little step really does help with creating momentum in the right direction. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll up, see if I see any questions. So any questions, please go ahead and jot those in. Jayanti is willing to stay on and answer any questions that you all have for her. Business yes. Business administration. I had to think about that. That was a long time ago, y'all. This is so helpful. Jennifer says, I was so nervous when I gave an intro speech at auditions last year. Well, next time you won't be, because you will have it nailed down. Asia says, do we mention any of the programs or charities the team partakes in? So if you are involved in similar charities, then most definitely. Like one thing that we always say, like with your application, your resume, and your intro speech, show alignment. So if you know that they're involved in certain charities and support certain foundations, support the military, go on tours, and if in all honesty and truthfulness, that's a passion of yours and you've also volunteered and done things in those same areas, then most definitely you can add that to your intro speech. So anything, again, that's going to set you apart is perfect. And especially if it's in alignment with what you know is a core value of that team, would also help. Denise says, I remember from sideline prep training and I still have mine memorized. Awesome. Dang it. I wish we were on Zoom so I could unmute you so that you could share it. Hey, Denise, type it down below for us so that I can read it to everyone. I'm curious to see, read what it is. Nicole said, this is so helpful. Awesome. Facepalm, we're learning a lot today. And that's what this is about. out, right? Come on. Okay, so Jayanti, did you know what to put in your intro speech before we told you?
Not really, just because you don't really, I feel like it's just such a broad scope of what could be put in there. You could overspeak and you could definitely underspeak. I think somebody in the comments said that that sounds it's like a pageant, and I wouldn't say pageantry, but definitely the style of NFL auditions is its own world. There's nothing really quite like it. And that introduction, like Janine said, it is really a crucial piece of your audition process, because not only are you telling them about yourself, but you're showing that you can actually articulate and speak like an intelligent person, which when you have hundreds of girls at an audition, it's easy to knock people off for simple things like that, just because at that point, when there are so many people, in the room, they're looking for reasons to, cut the numbers down, and you don't want that to be one of them. So yeah, I would just say I did structure mine throughout the playbook program. And then even my actual coach, Sammy, she was there day one of auditions. And she was able to help, like, kind of critiquing it throughout the process. And I was able to actually kind of ask her, like, I kind of want to say this. Should I say this? Do you think it'll be like too bad if I'm like jokey with it? And she was like, no, that's perfect. And that's another connection that I made through, the playbook program that I wouldn't have necessarily had had I not done it. So once again, I'm always grateful to do these things, just because I can't express how much this has helped me, in my journey so far. I used, some of my trainings this year, because this year I was stressed for auditions. But yeah, no, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And yes, that, she mentioned she used some of the trainings. They get lifetime unlimited access to all of the training, so that, because we know that this journey, it's a journey, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so you can't, Jayanti was blessed enough after, she hadn't even graduated yet from the program, but she made the team. But that doesn't always happen, right? So it does sometimes take a couple of tries to get on the team. And so having access to that training, you can kind of go back to the mindset training. I know that's like probably the training that's been played the most out of all of them, is the mindset training, just going back to kind of get yourself right where you need to be. So thank you for sharing that. But I just wanted to ask you that question, and sorry for putting you on the spot, because, Asia and others that are like, oh, baseball, I can't believe I messed it up. This isn't stuff that you're supposed to know. Like, that's why Sideline Prep exists. We're here to help you. So please don't feel that way at all. So Felicity says, definitely makes sense. I used your video to create mine for my audition, but would have loved to have this session before creating my video. Sorry, but better late than never. You can definitely update it if you need to down the road. And that's the thing. You'll always need your intro speech, guys. When you all make the team, you'll still need your intro speech, because when you go to appearances and performances and just you're interacting with fans, you're using your intro speech to introduce yourself. When you're up on stage, they will literally ask all the cheerleaders to introduce themselves, and you're using your intro speech. You just have modified it a little bit once you actually make the team. So you'll always need this. The way you broke it down made the intro speech part of the auditions less nerve-wracking. Awesome. This is perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. So I don't even want to mess up your name, but Miss Brown says that she was born and raised in Syracuse as well. Nicole says, what are some of the answers for one thing most people don't know about me is? I don't know which route to go with that topic. What would you say there? So how would you, and obviously this is for you personally, right? So how would you fill that blank in for yourself? So one of the things most people don't know about you is?
Well, right off the bat, I would just think of something that's quirky about me, I guess. And if I was asked or were to put that in my intro speech, I'd say one thing most people don't know about me is that I have an extreme fascination with safari animals and hope to one day go to the Masai Mara in Africa and see them in person myself.
Oh, that's awesome. See, like, who else would say that? Nobody. Do you know what I mean? So think about what makes you unique and something that like there's no way they would know about you, and it's unique to everyone, right? So for me, for that, I've said before that I've visited and toured more countries than states. Another one, let's see, is that I'm a nerd at heart and total tomboy growing up, running cross-country indoor track and outdoor track, and not ever having applied makeup until I got to college. You know, so there's different things that you could say about you, but you have to kind of think about what makes you different and what makes you unique. So it could be hobbies, it could be pastimes, it could be things that you've accomplished. It could be something about your family. Like one young lady said that she was one of like 11 children. You know, so it really just depends on you. But again, try it out, put it in your homework. And if I can, I will try to go through and read as many of those as possible. Yeah, I mean, Sadie just said it. Yep. Anything that's unique about you. Perfect. If a team states, oops, where'd it go? If a team states to include your name plus where you are from in your overall video, should you add more, or could that be seen as not following instructions? Whew. So yeah, we've gotten a lot of these questions. If they pretty much say what your intro speech should be, I would just stick with that. Simply because you want to make sure that you follow instructions to a T, because they could literally disqualify you just for that. So I would stick with that. The only thing that maybe you could add at the end would be like, go Ravens or go Raiders, or, you know, something like that to just give them a little bit of who you are from an energy standpoint. But outside of that, I would likely stick to just those two things. Now, if it says your intro speech, no more than 30 seconds for your intro speech, include your name and where you're from. Obviously, it doesn't take you 30 seconds. So then you could definitely expand on what it is that you want to share, because you want to fill that entire 30 seconds. Also, like we did video critiques. And that's something that I should have mentioned yesterday. If anyone is auditioning, we are doing video critiques. So if you want to send in your videos to us, send in your intro speech, all of that stuff, we do video critiques, and it's discounted. It's like 75% off right now. So feel free to send in, you know, let us know. We can help you with that. But like one person sent in their intro speech, and it was 33 seconds long, and it required a 30-second intro speech. And she was going to submit it. And I said, you can't. You have to re-record it. It's too long. Sorry. You know, so you have to follow instructions. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions? I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with the intro speech. It doesn't have to be. So any questions that you have for Jayanti are completely okay. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be intro speech related. But is tumbling required for pro cheer? No, it is not. I noticed that most of the dancers on my dream team tumble, and I can't tumble. So it's not required for most teams, but it's part of doing your research. So if you do find that your dream team has a lot of tumblers, then you might want to learn how to tumble. But some is different than all. So is it a requirement, or is it nice to have? So don't not audition just because you can't tumble. For Ravens, for example, the dancers don't have to tumble, correct? But the majority of the cheerleaders do, right? They have to at least have a standing back handspring, I think it is, for the stunt squad.
Yeah. Okay. So the stunners definitely have to tumble. They have to have a standing back tuck, and I believe a back handspring as well. And then the passing tumbling is optional. For dance, they ask you if you have any tumbling that you'd like to present to the judges, and it's kind of like an extra credit column. It's not necessarily required. When I was on bills, it wasn't required, but again, they asked if you could do it. And it's also just, it adds elements to the dance, to your sidelines, if you're able to do it. So it's definitely a bonus. But in my experience, it hasn't been, you know, you need to have this to be on the dance team.
Yeah. Perfect. And that's the thing. It's another skill or technique that can help differentiate yourself during that freestyle. So Brittany just choreographed a freestyle for a lovely, and she could tumble. So Brittany put in a stand-up back handspring, and it was crazy because she sent me like the dance, like, hey, do you think this is okay? And Brittany did a stand-up back handspring, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that she could do standing back handspring. But I was like really impressed. And so, yeah, I would recommend trying to go to a gym, learning how to do it, just because it's going to make you a stronger applicant, but really make sure that you figure out or find out if it's a requirement or if it's a nice to have before you stress out about it too much. So Miranda says to you, got to go get the kids to bed. Whoops, it went up. Sorry, I lost it. Thank you so much. Mom of 2 honorary boys here. It's great to know it's possible for moms. It most definitely is, which is one reason that I wanted you on here so that everyone can hear the story. Ashley says, how did she balance everything? Fitness, kid, personal life, and nutrition, dance, life, etc. So how did you balance it all?
It's funny when you like list it out like that, because it definitely kind of forget sometimes. Time management is definitely essential. Just like I said, having a plan for everything. It definitely, when it comes to kids, it definitely takes a village, and that's with any kids, but definitely with doing something like this where you're adding another, it's not a full-time job, but it's a full-time commitment, just because you're on, once people know, you're on pretty much all the time. And that appearances can happen at any time of the day, week, what have you. And I kind of just consulted with everybody that would be kind of directly affected before I started this process. Just kind of had a little powwow. This is what I want to do. Do you think this is feasible? Can we work this out? And once I got the yeses, then I was kind of like, how are we going to do this? And like I said, having those plans set in place prior to the season made this season, I'm not going to say a breeze, but as easy as possible. There were, minor hiccups, which is going to happen for anybody, regardless of what your other commitments are. But just knowing how to prepare for those, and when there are hiccups, how to prepare for those where you're still accountable in every single area of your life. And it's just, you have to make time. You can't make excuses. You have to make time. And that started for me with the program, just because I was doing, all of the information and all of the little activities and homework assignments and things that we had, finding time to do those and kind of learn how to like take virtual classes. I was taking virtual classes before quarantine because I live in upstate New York and there's nothing here. So I was trying to, get training in when I can, so that I could, be prepared to hit the ground running when it came to auditions where my body wasn't out of shape. And like I said, you really just have to commit yourself, just because you're only going to be as good as the work that you put into yourself. You can't expect results that you don't work for, if that makes sense. And like I said, you just have to plan. And I think honestly, it's been beneficial for multiple areas of my life, just because I feel so much more sane now that my life is as mapped out as it is. It's honestly a blessing that I was able to get through the season the way that I was last year. Like I said, I don't think I was late to any like practices or anything. Like there was no major like discrepancies with anything in my schedule, whether it was work, even when I was living up here, just because I had that plans in the plan after, the 2 plans set in place. So yeah, that's what I would say. And I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think too, like it's a lifestyle. So, one thing that we stress with Sideline Prep is this isn't a crash diet. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, like get pro cheer quick. Like it's not about that. Like this is a journey. This is something that takes time, and this is something that you have to work toward. And so we're really big like in making sure that you own your mornings and that you get some things done first thing in the morning, check those things off, get that sense of accomplishment, and then plan out the rest of your day, plan out your week so that you can factor in those times where you need to work out, where you've got a meal prep, where you have to go to dance class and all of that. And so you're learning to do all of that and become like a ruler of your own time and a manager of your own time, so that when you do make the team, it's not as hard of a transition for you. You know, obviously with having, you know, a son and everything else, that's even more on your plate. And so definitely kudos to you. And you make it sound kind of easy, but I know that it's something that you had to work toward. It's something that all of us have had to work toward. But once you make it a part of your lifestyle, it just becomes who you are, and it becomes that much easier. So, great question. So let's see. Dina says, if you have a 1-minute video introduction video, what are some other things to mention without seeming like you're rambling? So as long as whatever you're sharing is interesting, it's not going to seem like you're rambling. If you don't really have a point and any type of like theme for what you're trying to share, then it will seem like you're rambling. So really think about just sharing with them, obviously your name, where you're from, and then think about like 3 professional accomplishments, 3 personal accomplishments, and then 3 things that make you unique. This is the exercise that we take our lovelies through the interview course that they have. And then from there, think about how can I pick 1, 2, or 3 of these things and tell a story with them. And you literally just share who you are as an individual and make sure that it's different, it's unique. You can add humor. You can add in any type of alignment or correlations that you have with the pro team. You can add in, you know, why you might, one of the players might be one of your favorite players because of something that happened to you when you were young and you were with your family at, you know, one of the games or something like that. So really just think about what it is that kind of makes you you and makes you different. And when you organize it, it won't seem like it's rambling. 1 minute goes by super, super fast. It really, really does. So just organize it, put it in the Facebook group, and we'll help you with that. So let's see. Oh, Kennedy, it's you. Hello. Okay. Thank you for talking to us. As a mom, I feel much better. I often feel left out and the only mom that understands me on why we do this. So yeah, awesome. So that obviously was not for me because I'm not a mom. So that was for you. Okay, awesome. Do you think we will need an intro speech for finals since it will be the first time meeting in person? It depends. Better safe than sorry. Why not just go ahead and prepare it because you don't know what the finals will look like. It could be a situation where they definitely want to hear from you because they haven't met you in person and they want to kind of hear you firsthand. Jayanti, did your intro speech ever come up again throughout the interview process, maybe during interview itself? I mean, through the audition process, maybe through the interview itself or anywhere else?
So yeah, we definitely had to do it twice. And then for interview, they started it off as a standard interview, tell me about yourself, where it was more so an extended intro speech. It wasn't as, structured. Well, I won't say it wasn't as structured, but it definitely wasn't the same type of approach as an intro speech. But that was also something that was kind of prepared as well, just because you don't want to ramble at that portion either. Yeah, so it wasn't in finals, but that was when finals were, not after the madness that's going on right now. So yeah, I would definitely go with Janine and say, just be prepared to have to introduce yourself in some way, shape, or form, whether it's an intro speech or even the extended version that you would kind of give in an interview throughout any phase of the process, just because you don't want to be blindsided by that, just because the shock of that can throw you off as well.
Perfect. All right. So I want to be mindful and respectful of your time because you do have a son. I know you're at your parents' house. If you need to hop off, please let me know because I don't know if you've looked at these questions, but
yeah, no, it's fine. We're all set. He's fine.
I started to scroll down and I was like, oh my goodness, we got a lot of questions.
No, I honestly lost track of time, but I literally just texted to make sure that everything was fine. And he's okay.
All right, well, let me know if you need to go because I can try to finish out the ones. And then if there are any that are specific to you that I can't address, I can follow up with you. So thank you for staying on with us. But I made the mistake of scrolling and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so the next question was, for All Pro 3, do we register fully and pay? Okay, so I've heard there were some issues actually registering fully due to payment. How will you pick 2 winners after we fully register and pay? All right, so what Tiffany is talking about is this summer, Sideline Prep was partnering with All Pro 3. So All Pro 3, up until this point, has been open to only pro cheer teams for the most part and college teams. You had to be on a team in order to go to this event. Well, I worked with Alto and Brandy, who own the company, and pitched an idea for Sideline Prep to partner with them so that candidates, PRO-tentials, you guys that aren't on a team could come and learn from the pros during that weekend event. And I got the yes, I got the green light. We were all set to go. And then boom, quarantine happened. So they decided to take everything virtual. I'm still a part of the event, but it's going to be like a commercial here and a commercial there in between sessions and stuff. So basically what we are doing, we will have 2 tickets that we're giving away for free to anyone that uses the bit.ly link that I put in the Prep to Pro group and attends the and pays for their ticket to All Pro 3. All you have to do is just show me that you're registered to qualify, and then we are going to select 2 people to reimburse them. So you do have to go ahead and fully pay. Go ahead, because I want to make sure you jump in and get the spots, because I think they have a limited number on their Zoom application. So get your spot, and then we'll post we'll post a couple of times in Prep to Pro group to basically say how to enter in to win a free ticket, and we'll basically just Venmo you the money. That simple, okay, or PayPal. So and then Sadie, if you could put that bit.ly link in, that way people can go to the All Pro 3 website and just take a look at that. It is all virtual. Jamila Keene from the Washington Redskins, she's going to be teaching. Tara from the Tampa Bay Bucks will be teaching. So it's a really great lineup. After these 5 days of tips, what is the right step and direction to go to really make this dream a reality? Oh, do you have any pointers for that? So after this 5-day challenge, what is the right step and direction to go to really make this dream a reality?
Well, to my understanding, this challenge is helping them compose a game plan for auditions, right? Just a little bit. I would say use these 5 days as an opportunity to see where you need improvement in. And I would say, honestly, just from my own experiences, I would just reach out to Janine and have that conversation with Janine as to what you feel like you need help on, and what programs, because Sideline Prep, there's the playbook program, and then there's the other kind of trainings and things that you can utilize within it. I honestly can't vouch enough for the playbook program, just because if you enjoy these 5 days, just imagine 4 months of, accountability and checking in and fitness and all of the different aspects of the audition process that honestly, I had already been through 3 audition processes prior to my journey with the Pro Cheer Playbook program. And honestly, there was parts of the audition process that I kind of overlooked and kind of almost forgot about that were uncovered and, detailed, and we kind of dissected them throughout the process. Everybody keeps saying the mindset training. That was definitely one of the trainings that I still use this year. I tell you no lies, just because that is how the program kicks off, by the way. Like, that's how it starts. And then it only gets better, just because there's just so many different opportunities that I thought were crucial to my own process, i.e. the virtual audition, or not the virtual, but the mock audition workshops that we did, just because there's just so many things that you think you know about yourself, and you might even think that you have it all together until you realize you don't. And the best way to realize you don't are with people that want to help you get there, versus when you actually get to auditions, because those people are going to be brutally honest with you as well, but it's not going to be in your favor, just because as welcoming and open and friendly as everybody wants to be, at that point they have a job, and that's making the team. You don't want, the things that you overlook to be the reason that you have to delay your dream another year. So like I said, there was a lot of things for me that I was able to kind of conquer and evaluate within myself prior to walking in the door. And that made that process for me easier, just because I already knew what I was bringing to the table. And at that point, I knew that I would be a good teammate. I knew that I would contribute something to the team. And I was perfectly okay with my audition process, whichever way it went, because I knew I was bringing my best self to that audition process.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on that, I really couldn't have said it better. I think it's really just a matter of you going through the 5 days, like she said, really thinking about what are your strengths and what are your opportunities for improvement. And then, yes, by all means, reach out to us. On Thursday, we are going to talk about how you can work with us in a further, deeper way, with the coaching, with the accountability, with, an accountability coach, a community of people there to support you. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. And we're going to just make sure that you all are clear on that if that's something that you feel you need and want to be a part of. But like she also mentioned, we do have other options. Like a couple of you all contacted me about the Pro Dance Academy, and I'm so sorry I haven't replied to you. I will make sure that those emails go out tomorrow. But the Pro Dance Academy, for anyone that struggles with technique, that's an option. We have one-on-one sessions where you can work with coaches. So there's just so many different things and so many different packages that we could put together with you. But by far, our Pro-Cheer Playbook program, hands down, is the most comprehensive, most effective, most successful service offering that we have out there. Over 70% of our lovelies that graduate from that program make a pro team. So we'll just, discuss that a little bit later on. And I'm super excited that you all are already ready and thinking about, okay, what is next? I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's what we want. And that's what we're here for, to support you on that journey. So by all means, email me info@sidelineprep.com, and we will figure out how to assist and how to help you. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay. How do you keep yourself not distracted from your goal?
It's all about, I won't say that distractions don't come about, but it's all about being able to recenter yourself and realize when you're getting off track. And that just goes into just mindfulness practice. Just because you are going to have distractions, you are going to have, periods of doubt and where you're not feeling 100% about yourself, or just things of that nature, and just being able to remember that you have a purpose. And for me personally, like I said, just going back to, I didn't come this far to fail. Like, I did not come this far. I didn't go through all of this. I didn't move my entire life to let this go to waste. I didn't move this far to waste this journey. I'm not here to waste anybody's time. I'm here to make my own dreams come true and bring what I foresaw into fruition. And that, like I said it was a mantra just because I used to say it to myself. I still do, but it's become habitual at this point where those distractions aren't as frequent. Those feelings of uncertainty aren't necessarily as there as they used to be. But at one point anytime I felt like, well, what if you don't make it? You're already doing all of this. Or what if this season doesn't turn out to be what you want it to be and you're doing all of this, especially when I was considering what everything would have been with Malachi. What if it's not worth it? I would just say I didn't come this far to fail. I'm here for a reason. And like I said, that kept me focused to get me to the point where I realized, I am here for a reason. I did make the team. And like I said, last year was I've done last year was my third season in the NFL, and last year was by far, for so many reasons, by far my favorite.
It's wonderful. And I just love, again, that you bring it back to, recognizing when you're being distracted and then using mindfulness to get you back on track, right? And that's what, you all have to come on Friday. First of all, we're going to be announcing who wins the $1,000 scholarship for the Pro-Cheer Playbook program. Anyone that shows up live on Thursday qualifies for that after doing their homework. But also on Friday, we are going to talk about mindset and the importance of that. And a lot of the techniques that we shared with our Pro-Cheer Playbook lovelies, I'm going to go over a couple of those with you all as well, because it really is about getting back and centering yourself and not allowing those distractions to take you off course, okay? And the other thing she mentioned was mantras. So we talk a lot about mantras and affirmations, positive affirmations, and repeating, powerful I am statements. And I love that you said, I didn't come this far to fail, right? Another one that I say all of the time is, I didn't come this far to come this far, right? So I didn't come this far to just stop, I didn't put in all of this work to just get here and not to move forward, right? And so it's really trying to find those things that resonate with you. Another little thing, oh shoot, I shouldn't have, let me see. Yeah, I don't know if you all can see this, but it says, the best is yet to come. Okay, so I have a reminder that goes off 2 times a day to remind me that the best is yet to come. So this isn't something that just happens Jayanti didn't just wake up she didn't just wake up like that, I didn't just wake up like this. We work for this, right? We work for the positive mindset. We have to work to kind of to stay on track, right? And there's certain tools and tactics and different practices that you can put into your life every single day to keep you on track, so that you don't allow those distractions to get the best of you. So don't feel as though you're lesser than thou or that there's something wrong with you, because all of us struggle, all of us get distracted. It's just a matter of knowing what to do when that happens. So perfect question. So sorry, but now some of the questions I can't even, so Sadie, if I missed any from above this one, from Houston here. Hi, Jayanti. How did you find your support system not knowing anyone when you relocated? So I know that you mentioned that put you in touch with Cody, who is also a program graduate, and you had reached out to her and was using her as a resource. Was there anyone else that you connected with in the Baltimore area to help you out?
Honestly, it started off with my team. Just like the girls that were rookies with me. Fortunately, there was actually, Ashley was one of my rookie sisters. She's also a mom on the team, so that was awesome to have. I did stay in touch with certain girls that I met at the workshop from Redskins. And then, like I said, I have my rookie girls who were in the playbook program with me as well. But really for a while, I had my family at home. I do have family members that live in the PG County area as well. And then, like I said, I really relied on my teammates for a lot of it, just because I wasn't the only person that came from out of state that was in that position as well. And actually, fortunately, last year, one of my rookie sisters was Serena, who's she was I think last year was her 8th season, but since she came back, she was a rookie as well. And she was I couldn't, honestly, when I say the stars aligned for this, it was just crazy. But I don't want to discourage anybody when I say that the stars aligned, just because my situation isn't anybody else's situation. Don't like Janine said, don't get into the comparativeness of looking for loopholes in people's stories. Oh, well, this happened for her and this happened for her. Don't get caught up in that, just because this is just my pieces that I get to say so that I can have a story to tell people. You know what I mean? And your story will be your own story. So like I said, I just don't want, because I know I keep saying oh, it's been great and all of this. I just don't want to discourage anybody in that regards.
Yeah, perfect. So someone is curious about how tall you are.
Oh, I am 5'7.5" ish.
She's blessed with long legs. And I totally forgot that. I forgot that I could use this show function. I forgot last night too. This just makes it look so cool. So she says, I'm just a cashier at a fast food place. How can I make that interesting in my intro, or even the fact that I started dancing way later? I think is what it said. So first of all, you're not just anything. So you got to, make sure that you kind of get that out of your vocabulary. You're not just a cashier. Like being a cashier, especially at a fast food place right now, where a lot of people are depending on fast food restaurants and, restaurants in general for food, is extremely important. So it's just how you phrase it, that you have the opportunity to serve hundreds and hundreds of guests the most amazing hamburgers on the East Coast every single day at such and such restaurant. You know what I mean? Like you can spice it up. Like it's a big deal, regardless of your profession. You're important, right? Because if you weren't important, then it wouldn't even be a job. So it's really just all in how you position it. And the other thing you have to think about is what else that's not the only thing that you are. You're not only a worker at a fast food restaurant. So really dig deep and really think about, who are you? You know what I mean? And don't allow yourself to get in this mentality or this mindset that you're just anything, because you're so much more than just anything. Okay. Remember, there's only one of you, and that's a very special you. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So here is, oh yes, I remember the intro speech. Let's see if I can show this. So happy Saturday, everyone. My name is Denise with an IECE, not an ISE, hailing from a growing town, Humble, Texas. And here's the rest of it. When I'm not attempting to be super mom for my little man, I am the Black Widow from the Avengers as a cast member for the Disney company. Super. I remember working with you on this one last year. So super, super cool. Okay. Oh, there's more. I'm also a volunteer with the Disney Volunteers, that's EARS program, where we partner with Toys for Tots with the military. Awesome. I remember actually, oops, sorry, Sadie, I was supposed to show this one. So there it is. Sadie is working hard, given the All Pro link. So awesome job. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. And it goes on and on and on. I'm going to go to another tip. Great tips. So great tips, so awesome and inspiring, cheering with a strict shed as a mom. Nikki Hale from DCC alum. Oh, hello, a single mom with 2-year-old. Huge, big cheers to you. Awesome, thank you for being here. So cool. Let's see what other questions we have. So I learned from Sideline Prep, it's worth the money at... Oh, this was, okay, sorry. I'm like, what is this? So Denise was saying to Victoria, thank you. I learned from Sideline Prep. Yes, she has an amazing intro speech. So if you all didn't see it, make sure you all scroll up so you can read the entire thing. So here we go. I recently got sent a link to audition for the Phoenix Suns Hip Hop Squad. I was having a lot of tech issues, but now if I have it fixed, should I still send in my audition? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you send it in? As long as it's not past the deadline, then most definitely you should send it in. Like Jayanti shared a story about her being at an audition and her head getting the best of her and leaving. That was a mistake, but that's how she handled that situation at that time in her life, right? But why would you tell yourself no before the judges are able to? Like, why would you not just go ahead and send in that audition tape? So when you look back at that, what do you kind of think about that experience?
Exactly what you just said. Like, I literally, that was the round before boot camp. So it could have gone either way, and I didn't let them say yes. I didn't let them say no. Like it's all unknown as to what could have happened. And I completely took that away from myself just because I was so far wrapped up in my own head and lacking confidence and all of that. Just like Janine said, I haven't been like this the entire time. Honestly, I think I put as my biggest OP was confidence, just because I wasn't sure. And all the time I always think, like, not saying I have regrets, but just the fact that I cut myself. Like, who goes to an audition and cuts themselves? It just doesn't make sense. I wasn't, that's all I ever, just why. Like, if I could just go back and like knock my little self in the head, I would have, just because that was an experience. But at the same time, it's brought me to where I am now. So I can't say I necessarily regret it, but it was definitely a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that's wonderful. Like you said, you cut yourself, but everything happens for a reason. So you can't allow something like that to eat up at you and kind of destroy you and say, oh, well, I'm never going to go to an audition again. I couldn't even handle the last time I left. Like, it's in the past, it's over, it's done with. We learn from that mistake and then we move on, right? So long story short, yes, you should still send it in as long as it's still within the deadline in which it's due, because you don't want to cut yourself. Like, why would you tell yourself no? Let them tell you no. And you never know. It could be yes. So like, why would you ever pull yourself out of the running before it's time? So yes, most definitely go for it. So let's see, Miss K rocks. Oh, great picture. What email do we send our videos to for critique? So awesome. If Sadie, would you mind sending or posting the link for people to get more information about the video critique so that it can be, so they can register? And if you can't copy it and paste it for some reason from here, then just email us at info@sidelineprep.com. Let us know that you're interested in the video critique, and we'll send you the registration page so that you can go ahead and sign up and pay for that. And we normally are able to turn those around within 24 to 48 hours. Let's see. Here we go. So I thought of a question when I saw Jayanti's photo shoot. Are bikini shoots the typical headshots judges ask for at auditions? Do you have any tips on who offers these professional shots? So what were the requirements for the Ravens?
They wanted the headshot and the body shot. They don't say swimwear, but they say it has to be like a two-piece and it has to be form-fitting. So I normally have seen most girls go for the swimsuit. They do put, like, I know different teams have different specifications, and normally those details are in their audition details. When they say, like, we want these two headshots and this is what we're looking for. But I've seen girls send audition pictures with their tryout outfit, swimsuits, or something of that nature, just because the focus of that picture is really your physique per se, and then up close. So yeah, those are, at least for Ravens. I can't remember what Jill's were.
Okay, yeah, no, I was trying to, so it really depends on the organization. So again, and we talk about this a lot, but the importance of you doing your research. So really just making sure that you do your research so that you know exactly what the requirement is, and then whatever the requirement is what you want to submit. And I don't like, it's different for every single team. So some teams are going to say only a headshot. Some teams are going to say a full body shot in athletic wear or swimwear. So it really depends. A lot of teams are moving away from swimsuits and moving into athletic wear, or they might say a midriff top, something showing your midsection, just because of, the controversy in the industry a couple of years ago. What we recommend is a collage. So this, I just was trying to find one really quick. So this is an example of a young lady that did our photo shoot. And as you can see, her headshot was in a cocktail dress. She had a swimsuit to show her full body. And then she had on her cocktail dress as her big shot. We recommend this. So this is what we do at our photo shoot. The pictures that you saw that we showed earlier, this was at our photo shoot as well. So both of these images. And so this is what we recommend. Obviously, Drew Zeron is like the best in the world, but I am a little biased because he's the photographer that we used. And then when we used them, the Redskins picked him up. The Wizards use him now. The Baltimore Brigade used him, and the Valor when they existed. So we have a couple of YouTube videos all around the photo shoot process. But the big thing here is just to follow the instructions given by the actual organization. So great question. So let's see. My team requires a solo for the final audition. Would you stick with the style and difficulty of the team, or would you add more difficult tricks and turns? So what would you say? I have my response. What is your thought on this?
I would say definitely quality over everything. I would say do what you feel most comfortable with, just because, like I said before, that confidence is going to exude more than you trying to throw a skill or a trick or what have you that you're not necessarily comfortable with. That kind of also goes back to the comparison thing. Just go do what you know how to do what you know looks good, and what you're comfortable doing, just because I'm telling you that video is not going to be shot once. So be prepared to be doing it, just because our final round was virtual. So I feel your pain a lot. But yeah, stay within your realm of comfort. I'm not going to say if you do have skills that you know that you're capable of, definitely try to incorporate those in, especially to kind of correlate with whatever team you're going with. If you know they're very technical and you want to display that you have that technique, I would do it. But if you're not necessarily as technically strong as you would like to be going through the season, I wouldn't compromise, like I said, the quality for a bigger skill, just because that could work against you in some ways. So definitely stay within your comfort zone 100%. Don't get tied up into what you think other people might be doing in their videos, just because at that time they're literally only watching you. So you just want to make sure that that package that you're presenting is your best one.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, and that's the answer that I would have given too. Like if you have if you are able to perform, technique or tricks or anything like that flawlessly and you feel confident, then I would say, yeah, add them in. But your freestyle is not the time to experiment and try things out. You want to make sure that with your freestyle, you're showing them your best stuff that you can execute pretty flawlessly. But yeah, I mean, remember your freestyle, your intro speech, those are the opportunities to show up and show out and show off, right? You still want to be confident. You don't want to be cocky, but you want to make sure that it's a clean package. So if you have a solid double, stick with that instead of the wobbly triple that sometimes you fall out of. So just kind of be mindful of that and just do your best stuff for your freestyle. So great question. Let's see. Let's see. I think that I got lost here. Sorry. Things move up so fast and it's hard for me to. All right, so here we go. My name is Nyasia. That's pretty. I'm from Miami. I was wondering, is it good to start learning at an early age? I'm 11 years old, and I am fascinated with pro cheer, and I really want to join the Dolphins, most definitely. The earlier you can start, the better. I love that you're already thinking about this. Yeah, already thinking about this. I love it. So yeah, just keep it up. I would definitely get into dance. Miami Dolphins have definitely stepped up their game as far as technique and performance. So really make sure that you're working on technical dance, ballet, jazz, things like that. Perfect. Rachel says, I can't even say how many times I've listened to the mindset training. Yeah, that's what you had mentioned earlier. Okay, so we have a lot more questions. I don't really know how to handle this. All right, so we'll take maybe 5 more questions and then we'll wrap it up for the evening because it's already 10:30 at night and I really want to be respectful of your time. So Miss K Rock says again, so can we say we tumble if the most we can do is a front walkover or round off? You can say basic tumbling, because when I think of tumbling, I think of back handsprings at a minimum or standing back tuck. Not that a walkover and a round off isn't, but that's like basic, like beginner gymnastics and not necessarily true tumbling. Most of the time when teams ask for tumblings, they are assuming or expecting like back handsprings, standing tucks, things like that. And it's not to say that you can't get that, because you most definitely can. You can just, I would just be a little more, I would just make sure you're clear that it's basic or beginner. Okay. I think I answered the question about the food. So Tiffany says, thank you. You are welcome. Pretty picture for answering my question. You rock, Janine. Yay. Tara from the Bucks will be there. Yes. Future TBBC here in Tampa. Awesome. I'm so grateful for your mentorship and guidance. You are godsend. Thank you so much. And good luck. I love Tara. I was able to hang out with her when they were here for the directors conference. She's so much fun. So please let me know if you need any help. So let's see. All right. Question number 4 here. Tips for staying motivated and inspired when your family does not support your dream of being an NFL cheerleader. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I would say it's definitely a touchy subject when it gets into your family. However, if you were to ask me personally, I would say that, again, it's not worth the risk of what if, just because you want to live your life. You're the only one in the captaincy of your own life, and your fate is in your own hands. And you don't want to compromise that for literally anybody, just because nobody else is going to deal with those feelings of regret or anything of that nature later on down the line, when maybe these doors aren't necessarily open anymore. So I would just say, go for it. And some people don't understand the realm of the cheerleading industry until they're able to see it firsthand. So there's always a chance that they can come around later down on the line when they see that you're not just a cheerleader dancing on the lines, but you're an ambassador to a national franchise organization. All of the opportunities that you're able to engage with your community and things of that nature. There's just so much to it. I would, like everybody always says, more than what you see on the sidelines. And when you think NFL cheerleader, sometimes they only think of that micro piece of it, which is honestly in some cases like what you would think is the best part of it, just because, you know, that's the experience that you're looking for. But I would say go for it, and then just try to, I would say, maybe include them in the process, just so they can see that this isn't something that you can just wake up one day and decide that you have to do. You worked hard for this. This was a dream that you saw and you brought it into fruition on your own. And all of that, like I said, I believe would come into play when they're able to see that for themselves.
Yeah, perfect response. And, you know, I would have a conversation to find out, what is it about the professional cheer industry that they don't support? Like, why are they not supporting you? If they love you, if they're your family, if that's your network and that's your support system, why can they not support you? And try to just have a conversation about it to really understand what their perspective is, so that you can educate them. Because a lot of times people don't support because they just don't know any better. And they don't know the goodness of the industry and all that we do for the community, and that we're ambassadors and role models, and we go overseas on military tours. And there's just so much joy and love and excitement that cheerleaders bring to everyone that they come into contact with. So maybe just that education. And then I also just kind of want to remind everyone that's kind of just listening is, you know, there's a quote out there that says that you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. So think about that for a second. You are the average of the 5 people that you're around the most. So if you are in an environment of people that aren't supporting you, that aren't lifting you up, that aren't pulling you along, that aren't being your cheerleader, that aren't encouraging you, that you really need to think about those people. And I know you can't get rid of your mom and your dad. You can't get rid of your family. They are your family. They're your blood. You have to stick with them and be there for them. But that doesn't mean that you have to allow what they say and what they do and their negativity to dictate who you become. That just means that you need to surround yourself with more uplifting people so that you can, that chatter is white noise. It's just white noise. Okay. So really remember that. And I think that that's the importance of the Prep to Pro Facebook group. That's the importance of the Pro Cheer Playbook family. That's the importance of us as lovelies, because we are that community that is going to lift you up and support you. Right. Imagine if we had, if the 5 people that you were around the most were just like Oprah Winfrey. Can you imagine you being the average of Oprah? I'd be okay with that. I'd like, all right, I'm winning. And so that's what you want to do. You want to have people in your network and be communicating with, and it doesn't have to be physical. It could be, who do you listen to on your podcast? Who are you following on YouTube? Who's in your feed on Instagram? Is it positivity, uplifting things? Are you more motivated after you look at your Instagram feed? Or are you depressed because you're comparing yourself to other people? So really, really, really keep that in mind as you kind of go through all of this. So let's see. I think that might be it. Let me just scroll through really quick. I think I may have gotten everything. Make sure you post your, I see a couple of intro speeches in here, and I did ask for Denise to put hers in, but everyone else, make sure you put those in the Facebook group in the actual post. Let's see. Here's a question. Since we are in this corona, will Drew start shooting again? Yes, he most definitely will once he's able to get back in the swing of things. We may also, if someone needs a shoot, you know, we can have small groups of 10. So if it was just like you and him or something like that, I'm sure that we could, you know, arrange something like that as well. Let's see. Oh, this is Elizabeth. At Miss K Rocks, I had Janine critique my video and it was so helpful. Oh, thank you. I love doing those critiques. It takes me forever to do them, but I love doing them. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. Woo! I think we covered them all. Sadie, did I get them all? I think I did. I think the other ones are just intro speeches. Oh, here's one. Last one, Denise Walker. Last one, guys. Hello. Any tips for virtual interview? The team I'm auditioning for has virtual and in-person interviews. So we have an entire training on this one topic. So that would be my number one recommendation, because it's literally 4 to 5 pages of potential interview questions that you could get during this process. So if you want to contact us, if you are a member of the Prep to Pro Facebook group, you get it 50% off. So it comes to just $30 for this amazing training. It's over an hour. It's one of the trainings that our Pro Cheer Playbook lovelies get as well. But you want to make sure that you know your football facts, your team facts, and that you practice basic interview techniques and skills. So there's so much that I could answer there. We could literally spend an entire hour just on the interview itself, but you want to make sure you're prepared. Obviously, you need to look the part. You need to dress the part. You need to be able to introduce yourself, because that likely will be the first question. Why do you want to be a part of their team? You need to be able to answer that as well. Okay, I think, yep. So Sadie says we are good. Yay. Oh, wait. Blonde Stuff says, okay, this is for real, the last one. I'm a dancer and an all-around performer, not just a gymnast, but not a gymnast at all. Wish I was able to do a front or back flip, but can't. Does this really harm my chances? No. It depends on the team. I mean, both of us are shaking our heads no, but it depends on the team. So this, again, you really have to just do your research. So if it is a requirement to be able to tumble and to be a gymnast, then you have to be able to tumble. But like I answered before earlier, it's normally not a requirement to tumble. Now, there are some teams that have stunt squads now, and they might require a standing back handspring as a basic tumbling skill. But again, do your research, find out what the requirements are. Y'all don't worry. Y'all are worrying about things you shouldn't be worrying about. Tumbling, hold up. Let me pull up my little sheet here. Tumbling is not on this framework. Gymnastics is not on this framework. Dance is here. Your mindset, your confidence, your game plan, your dancing, your nutrition, your fitness, your appearance, your application, your interview skills, and how you show up on audition day. That's here. Don't worry. We're giving you all the game plan. Don't worry. You're going to worry yourself to death worrying about gymnastics and tricks and everything else. Okay. So if it's not on here, don't worry about it unless you do your research and it's a requirement. If it is a requirement, then yes, you want to start working on those skills. If it's not a requirement and you have time, then why not learn something new? And that's okay as well. Okay. I just don't want you all to leave these 5 days more stressed out, because you should be leaving these 5 days feeling more confident with a game plan to go pro. Okay. You should not allow yourself to worry over things that should not be worried over. Okay. So please, let's just keep it all in perspective. Okay, wonderful. Any last piece of advice or any departing words as we round out our 2 hour and 40-minute session together?
No, I will just say that you guys are ahead of the game because you guys are on this phone call. You guys are already taking these steps, and it might seem stressful, but you got to think that you guys are doing this and the rest of the competition might not be doing it. This isn't common for people to be doing this kind of preparation for this process. So don't get into your head about all of those micro little tidbits of things. You are who you are and nobody else is you. And that's your strong suit. That's your big joker, is that you are your own self. And don't forget that. And like I said, just try to bring that to the table in every phase of the audition process and just learn who that person is and you'll be fine.
Yep, perfect. And as you can see, I put up Jayanti's information for IG so that you can contact her and connect with her. Please put in some emojis, give me some hearts, some thumbs up, some love in here for her for spending so much of her evening with us. Really do obviously appreciate you for being here and just sharing. Just such an inspiration for all women, especially for moms. I know that you are a source of empowerment, encouragement, and inspiration for them as well. Just as a quick reminder for everyone, wonderful, you all get gold stars for still being on with us so late. Don't forget your play of the day. I think the post is already in our Prep to Pro Facebook group. So if you want to go ahead and answer your, fill in your template with your intro speech, you can go ahead and do that now. We'll try to give you feedback toward maybe during our bonus days. Don't forget, show up live, do this for yourself, complete your play of the day so that you can enter in to be a part of winning some great prizes, including $1,000 scholarship to our Pro Cheer Playbook program. We're going to go live again tomorrow, same place, same time. The topic is nutrition and fitness. Super, super important. Jeanette will be here with us. She is our lead nutrition and fitness coach. She's absolutely amazing. When you log off here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because many of the questions that you all were asking, we already have a YouTube video about it. So if you literally just search by the keyword, 9 times out of 10, you will find it there. You are getting so much love. I hope you see it over here in the chat. There are tons of thank yous, hearts, and everything else. So again, I can't express enough my appreciation, love, and admiration for you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you. Good luck with auditions. I know they haven't announced the team, but I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. Yeah. I know. You'll be fine. I'll put it out in the universe. You are going to be able to experience your veteran season, your second year with the Baltimore Ravens. Best of luck to you. Sending you love. Tell your parents hello and give your little one a big hug for me tomorrow morning when you see him. And good night to everyone. And thank you again for being with us tonight. Bye.